these guys? Got caught in about 2 minutes.
Where you off to, mate?
Thought, mate, just really running late for this case.
Where the hell have you lot been? Do you know how late we are?
I was on the bender, mate.
Mate, we've got 2 minutes till court starts. Listen, we got cases building up, we got work to do. Let's go, let's go. Turned on. It is one not to be missed. Trust me, it's going to be a special one. But we have a show today, Saturday football show, and joining me, I've got my two boys, Nick and Big Hugs. How are you boys, man? You good?
Good, man.
Yeah, gassed, bro. Gassed. Very excited. I'm not going to lie, bro.
Listen.
Big day. Pivotal day in the Prem today, man.
Big one for sure. We've got an action-packed one today. Loads and loads of games. We've got West Ham United that's just finished 2-0 at home at the London Stadium to West Ham. We will discuss that very shortly as well. And there's plenty of other games. We've got Fulham, Burnley, Luton, Newcastle, Man City at home to Brentford, Forest at home to Bournemouth, Tottenham v Everton, and the big one at 5:30 as well later on, which is Liverpool v Arsenal. So a lot of action today. Of course, Christmas period coming up. We know how tense that gets. Are you boys nervous during this period?
For Newcastle, yes and no. Yes, because our record in this period is not great. But the fixtures we have is kind. We've got Luton today. We had Fulham last week. Next weekend or next game, we got Forest. And then we got Liverpool on New Year's Day. So we can get 3 wins in a row now if we beat Luton and Forest. So I'm excited for it. But like I said, our record in this period is not as great as it should be.
It's always a tough one, isn't it? How do you feel as an Arsenal fan? Sitting at the top of the table, you're now the target. You got a target on your back. How are you feeling during the Christmas period?
I know Fuad's gonna hate this. You got to play this down, man. Listen, man, we're just here for the ride. Do you know what I'm saying? Nah, listen, we want to. This top of the table is where we want to be. But we learned last season, and we've seen Liverpool do it before. That being top of the table after 17, 18, 19 games don't mean anything. Do you know what I'm saying? We know what
it does, though.
It don't know because we've seen that it doesn't, because we've seen Man City haven't clicked. Man City is still, they're the team that won the treble last season. They're still the team that everybody looks at as the boogeymen, even though they've not been on great form. And they've got a lot of new players, well, not a lot, they've got a few new players to make click, and it's the back end of the season is always the part where they kick into gear. So it's important for us to try and get as much of a lead as possible. But for me as an Arsenal fan, it's injuries that kill us at this period of time. You know what I'm saying? We've got a few key people out. I'm hearing Thomas Partey might be back in training. Who knows? There's some narratives floating around. But I want him gone in January anyway. But yeah, still, we need the legs in it. Do you know what I'm saying? So my thing is really injuries at the moment when it comes to every year, when it comes to this period, regardless of the season. Can we keep everyone fit? And how do we balance playing our football but keeping people fit?
Yeah, we've been seeing a record number of injuries this season as well, which is crazy. But January window as well around the corner. So listen, there's so much to get into. Make sure you guys are getting involved in the conversation as well. I see some of you lot going off in the comments, loving that intro. And yes, FCM Court is back, and the FCM pod is back later on today as well, so make sure you're tuned in for that after the Liverpool-Arsenal game. But there was a game that's just happened, boys, and it was West Ham 2, Man United 0. Don't know if you guys caught much of it, but what did you guys think of the result there?
Man United are finished, bro. Man United are fit. Like it was like, I don't want to say it was never going to end any differently, because before West Ham scored their first goal, they were camped in their box. Do you know what I'm saying? They were camped in their box, but no Højlund on the pitch at that time. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they're putting crosses into the box. I'm seeing Bruno on the edge of the box. I'm seeing Shaw trying to put in some good crosses. There's no one to aim for. They've got Garnacho trying to do third man runs, which is, he's a talented player, but that's not really his type of football. I know at some point in the show we're going to talk about signings. They've got their trademark striker signing, and they didn't have a striker in there. There was no striker in the box to actually aim for. West Ham weathering the storm, and after like 15, 20 minutes being camped in their box, you know what I'm saying? Like Glastonbury, pure camping, bruv. These man, long ball over the top, they managed to break away, and then 2 great assists from Paqueta, and yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? These man come unraveled, bruv. But Man United, I don't know, there's something, and they have that weak mentality that we've seen from both of our clubs in the past.
They're toothless,
do you know what I mean? They're very, very toothless right now.
Toothless.
Do you know what I mean? For real.
And I caught the first half and a bit of the second half. And the first half, it was more of an even game, but United didn't have a way of playing. They were sort of relying on West Ham's mistakes. So there was 2 chances that they had. I think one was Garnacho, and I'm not too sure who the other one was, but both the chances came from West Ham mistakes.
Yeah.
They don't have a way of playing. They say there were injuries, yeah, but that's fine. Have injuries, but the players that come in, they have to adapt to the way the manager wants them to play. Like Spurs have injuries, or they had injuries. Those guys that came in, Brian Gill and all those other guys, they came in and then they understood the role. At Newcastle, it's the same thing. You know, guys who come in, we got injuries. The boys who come in, they understand what Eddie Howe wants from them, and you can see that they're all on the same wavelength. But with Man United, it's like they're just waiting for something to happen. They've got no penetration going forward. Anthony is shot, bro. There's poverty in this world, you know, and he's bought for 85 million. No, bro, that's 85 million.
It's crazier and crazier when you see some of these performances.
Every time Man United sign a winger, it makes Nicola Pepe look better and better, bro. Look how
they're trying to get some redemption on that. No. You don't get to run that narrative
today. Narratives today. He look. Would you take Anthony or Pepe? Would you take Anthony? Talk to me.
I hear it though because Pepe got stick, bro. Pause. Like,
he did.
He had like 17 GA in his first season.
He got like, you know, a cooking, and it's like his numbers. Obviously, he took some penalties, but his numbers at the time Europa League and League. They were okay, but because
there were numbers you could at least build on.
Yeah, do you get me? But because everyone was so focused on that price tag, you know, they didn't let him marinate in it.
Yeah.
But with these man, you got Sancho, who at Dortmund, who like at a point was my favorite player. At a point, you got him. Anthony could come in. You got Rashford there too, and it's like these. There's a stat like I said to you, man. Havertz has scored more goals than Højlund, Garnacho, Rashford, and Anthony.
And he's broadly considered a flop.
And all these signings, of course, were made by Ten Hag, of course. So at some point, does the sword kind of fall on him? And I look at their recent fixtures, they're now 4 losses in their last 6, where kind of previously they'd kind of got a few wins together, and you've kind of felt like maybe they're turning a corner, maybe Ten Hag's kind of getting his guys around. But again, did they maybe get carried away with that Chelsea result? Is 100%. This kind of... Yeah. Is this kind of really the reality of what the situation is at United?
In terms of the question,
what does it mean for Ten Hag as well?
In terms of the question that you asked of does it fall on Ten Hag, the Anthony signing 100% falls on Ten Hag because
he wanted him, innit?
That's his guy. He's managed him before, so you should know how to get the best out of him. If I pay you as a manager and you say to me now, well, even if I invite you to football and you say to me, I'm bringing one of my boys through, he's a baller. I'm trusting that if he's your guy, he's a baller because I'm going by your reference. Yeah. Sancho, a little bit less. He doesn't know his character. He's bought him. He thinks he's talented. That's different. Lisandro Martinez, very talented player. He's come in. He's one of Ten Hag's guys. He's been really good. Obviously, he's got injured. But the Anthony one is baffling. Like, you would know that this guy is... You know what this guy's capable of or what he's not capable of. How were you unable to get football out of him when you were able to apparently get football out of him previously at Ajax? It's strange. But he does have a habit of this. In terms of, I was looking at his transfer marks. He averages, obviously he's been moving up through the football chain, so I don't want to say like he's been failing. He's been very successful at previous clubs, but he's never really managed a club for more than 2 seasons. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He averages 2 seasons at a club. So is this the guy to build a long-term project? The jury's out. Do you know what I mean? That being said, we're trying to build a long-term project of Arteta, who's never had a managing job at all. So it's difficult, but he was part of the Manchester City setup for a long period of time. Is Ten Hag the someone for a long-term project? But I don't know, man.
What do you think?
I don't think so, to be fair to you, but if you're sacking him, who else do you bring? So I feel like that's why he's still in the job, because there's not many people out there. I was looking at Potter. I see there's Graham Potter. Bruce, to me, it's like for like, because if you can't handle Chelsea, these men are a different beast. So it's like, what's the point of bringing someone who failed at Chelsea in to replace what you have now? So just because there's not really many options to bring in, I feel like that saves him. But I don't think he's the man to take them to the next level. I feel like the first season, that's sort of worn off now. And we're seeing that the players don't even want to play for him. Like,
no. But at times it does, though. At times it feels like the players are trying to play for him. And I don't know, maybe it's certain
this season
players. But
I was going to say, it looks like there's a group of senior players that want to play. regardless. The professionals. Someone like a Bruno.
Yeah.
Someone like a Bruno. And I think that some of the other players are playing for Bruno maybe more than even playing for the manager, because they have a bad relationship with the manager, but they have a good relationship with Bruno at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? So the dressing room looks like it's in disarray. He's had problems before with dealing with some of these big characters and, you know, stylistic certain players. We haven't even spoken about Onana, who's just a disaster. He single-handedly really has them out of the Champions League, let's be real. Do you know what I'm saying? That's on his head, and that's a signing that Ten Hag's made.
Youngster Willie Kamwala, is it, thrown in the deep end at centre-back pretty much as well.
Yeah. He looked decent. He looked decent, but for him, there's not much he can do. Obviously, he's coming to this, he's playing alongside Johnny Evans.
But I'm sure that is not a centre-back pairing that United fans at the start of the season would have thought was
especially not for the money that they've spent. Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. And I feel like obviously we can look at United as well. We have to look on the other side as well, West Ham, and that's kind of the reaction you want, ideally, isn't it? After especially the performance against Liverpool, the way it almost looked lackluster at certain points. But this is against United now at home in front of your home fans. Jared Bowen, of course, getting the first goal, and then Kudus. You were kind of talking on him a little bit before we went on stream, but what have you kind of made of him since he's come in, and what he's been able to bring to that West Ham team?
He's cold, and I was surprised he was linked with Brighton. I was surprised he was linked with West Ham. I feel like he could have gotten a bigger club, but some people say he needed to adapt to the Premier League and, you know, probably make that step up. But I felt like he was ready, because I watched him at Ajax in Champions League. I remember a game where he tore Liverpool apart. I watched him in the World Cup playing centre mid, and it was good then. So for 35 or 40 million pounds, for me, I was surprised he's at West Ham, but he's there now, and you can see he's sort of adapted straight away. Moyes is playing him in his favourite position, which is like forward central position. You know, not too far out wide, but you know he comes inside, and you know he's showing that he's got what it takes to play in his Premier League, and he's consistent too. So I think so far he's been, him and Bowen, Paqueta, you know, they've really understood their roles for each other, and he's been. Is
that a damning indictment on Ten Hag? The fact that he's managed both Anthony and Kudus, and then today you saw them both on the same pitch, and Kudus, you would say, almost looked a cut above, wouldn't you? But
Kudus looks a cut above Anthony every week. Do you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, this guy's talent ID's in the bin. I don't really know. You know, I think that's the problem. I don't know, and I think a lot of United fans don't know what he's trying to do. It's not even like they know what he's trying to do, and he's I know I'm an Arsenal fan, so I keep bringing it back to Arteta. I'm not trying to compare, but you know, with him, we saw what he was trying to do, and we were like, okay, cool. He can't do this with Socrates, Mustafi, blah, blah, blah. Let him get his players, and then let's see. Whereas here, I feel like a lot of United fans don't really understand what it is that he's actually trying to do. What direction are you trying to take us in? What's the game plan? They do have injuries, which I will say is a caveat. You know what I'm saying? A lot of their starters are out, but the way that he's managing the team and the talent ID, let's be real, Anthony's brought in to be a starter for that kind of money. And we're seeing Kudus be a lot more effective. He looks a lot more athletic. He looks a lot more skillful. He looks a lot more direct. You think of United, you think of direct attacking football. Some of the people in the chat, a lot of United fans have said to me also, and some of the people in the chat as well, saying that Ten Hag doesn't understand the Prem. And maybe that's true, because there are a lot of teams in the Prem, West Ham being one of them, that are very comfortable without the ball. And you always hear him in post-game press conferences talking about, I thought we played after losses. I thought we played well. We had a lot of the ball, you know, blah, blah. It's like, bro, this isn't the Dutch league where it's 100%. All about having the ball. There's a lot of teams here that play without the ball, and West Ham's one of those teams, and that's where they're going to come unstuck. So he sometimes is thinking that his team's doing well because they got 70% possession. That's not the way. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't see a style for them. He bought a keeper that wants to play out the back, fine, but I don't believe they got the players to do that anyways. So, you know, Ten Hag needs to get more players in to sort of try to play the way he wants to play.
Yeah, let us know, United fans, what you guys think in the comments as well. I want to see what United, the consensus is. It Ten Hag out time? Is it, you know, give him the Christmas present, the sacking? Is that appropriate timing? I don't know. You guys let us know in the comments what
Steve McLaren interim.
What are you saying? Give it, Steve, till the end of the season.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
There's a couple of super chats that have come in. Big up Tina, always a regular in the show as well, says United season was already dead after dumping out of the Champions League. Rodri pit for something there. New CDM for January for City. Ooh. Oh, Rodri injury. I think actually the Rodri injury isn't a long-term one, if I'm not mistaken. They said he should be fit for the Everton game. Juice Sauce here sends another super chat as well. Says Everton away form is decent recently. They could do something against Spurs, to be honest. We will dive into those lineups very shortly as well. And I can't lie to you, brother, I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But James Boris as well sends a super chat. He says, Chris Wilder. That is all. Brother, I'm with you on that one. Chris Wilder, we will be watching or seeing what Sheffield United have been up to as well. What did you make of their result last night? Because you was
I watched the game.
That one last night as well, didn't you?
Do you know what?
Just briefly.
Villa were unlucky because they had a goal disallowed, which I thought like was harsh because VAR took it back to like the first phase of play when they were in like phase 4. So, but Sheffield United made a fight out of it.
Cameron Archer.
They grew into the game, and then when they had a chance, like before the goal, like to probably 10 minutes before the goal, they had some chances. I think Norwood had a shot which went wide, and they had another chance to score. So that goal, you could sort of see it was coming, and then they got the goal from Archer. Great finish, by the way, and I'm a big fan of his. I felt like he could have stayed at Villa though, and been a number 2 and come on and probably been in this environment, but he's gone out there. They bought him for like I think like 90 million or whatever it was, and he's gone out there, and when he's been called upon, he's done well. You know,
he's done well. Yeah,
you know,
him and McAtee. I've said the second half of the season, I think they will be key gems within Wilder's system. I felt like they were kind of a little bit almost shackled under Heckingbottom. Maybe he felt like they were too young to kind of help us survive. But sometimes I feel like that fearlessness and that kind of shackles off. You've got Norwood and Hamer, who I think are two decent, actually quality Premier League quality midfielders. Yeah. You've kind of got some building blocks there. If Chris Wilder can get that kind of solidity back in that he had there and that kind of almost togetherness. What was it? The famous quote, "No egos, just desire." And I was like, you know what? You look like the kind of manager I could run through a brick wall for, but no.
He's a throwback manager, isn't he? Chris Wilder.
Fully, yeah.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did, Kane that's in the studio, obviously a Crystal Palace fan, and I did like top 5 players to watch or something like that in the summer transfer window, and I said that Cameron Archer,
very good.
Crystal Palace should sign him. So he's probably not going to get into the Villa side. Obviously, he's been at Villa since he was 8 years old. And scored against them, and they let him go. And I came was like, Cameron Archer, you taking the piss? Like, we're a Premier League team. He's playing Championship last season. Blah blah blah. And then obviously it's only one goal, but you know, big important goal, and you know, definitely a 40, somebody to keep an eye on.
Like they brought him in to do what Brewster was brought in to do when they brought him to Liverpool. Brewster didn't quite work out. Archer's got. You know, he's a bit more physical, and he's got the alpha goal. We saw him at Euros under 21. I believe he wasn't in that team that won it. Yeah. So
he's one of the top goal scorers, I think, in the Championship last year as well. He's well, not I don't know top goal scorers, but he's ripping up in the Championship last year.
Scored quite a few goals,
exactly. So you know, they've got a decent team, but whether or not they've got enough to stay up, I don't know, because both
it'll be tough staying up, but I definitely think they'll make a better fight of it with Wilder than they did with Heckingbottom. So very good point there for Sheffield United. But let's move on to today's games, and first lineup to read out actually. Let's get into the Luton at home to Newcastle. Luton with Kaminsky in goal, Mengi, Osho and Bell in a back 3, Isaac Kabore and Doty as the wing backs, Sambi Lokonga, Barkley, Townsend, Brown and Adebayo up top. Adebayo's been scoring quite a few goals past couple of weeks. Are you concerned a little bit there? I know you've kind of had your injury issues at centre back, and your 2 centre backs are probably on their last hamstrings, if you like. But you worried he can maybe sneak something today?
Do you know what?
Barkley's been rolling back the years as well. Yeah. Townsend's been in a good bit of form. Luton have been week by week, almost progressively getting or adapting to the Premier League better and better. So
yeah, I think Luton
full of a surprise.
Luton at home, they're decent. I watched them against Arsenal. He scored in the last minute. Declan Rice, Man City just about beat them, and Liverpool they drew as well at home. So in these big games, they rise to the occasion. The crowd gets behind them, but I would expect us to get the 3 points there. They've lost 3 in a row. So it's like if we want to be saying that we want to be competing for top 4. We should be getting the points there. However, we've got, I feel like, the worst away record outside the bottom 3. So we've lost, I think we lost 4 and drawn 5 or whatever, and we've only won 1 on the road. That's that 8-0 against Sheffield United. So we need to improve that, and this is a great opportunity to do that. Our team that's come out.
Yeah, do you want to read out your lineup?
I'll read that. Yeah, we've got Martin Dubravka in goal, Crane Trippier who started. Who made some mistakes, he started now. We've got Lascelles, Shaw and Dan Burn. Left back, we've got Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes, Lewis Miley in the middle, Anthony Gordon out left, Amir out right, and Wilson up top. Yeah, I'm happy with that team, to be fair, because now I'm starting to see like the depth starting to come back. We can now rest Isak, we can rest Livramento, we've got Botman on the bench. So, our players are starting to come back, and us being out of Champions League, for me, is not the end of the world. We made ourselves proud. We were unlucky not to get through. It was fine margins in a Carabao Cup 2 and Champions League 2. So these are the games that we've got to learn from in these big games to get the experience, for. And then probably next season, if we're there again, we can learn from them. So we're starting to get our squad back.
Score prediction? What would you say?
2-1 Newcastle, I think.
Yeah,
2-1 Newcastle. I do think Luton will score, but we've got the quality there to score 2 goals, so 2-1.
FT Clips here says Luton win incoming thanks to this youth. Nick, what are you going for prediction in that game?
Maybe a 1-1. I'll go for a 1-1. I know a lot of the Newcastle fans I spoke to were split on Jamal Lascelles over the last couple of weeks. I'm saying he's been solid and doing. There were a few that, because I think he made. A few have been saying he's been solid. A couple been saying he's been making some mistakes. Jamal Lascelles,
what Newcastle fans is this?
I'll introduce you to them, bro. there's a lot of them out there, man. And then obviously, Kieran Trippier as well.
So
he's normally so.
1-1.
I'll go 1-1.
I think I'll go with your scoreline. I think
2-1.
I'll go 2-1. I think Newcastle should have enough to see them off.
Yeah.
Wilson probably likes these types of clashes as well. I feel like. So I can see Luton trying to make a fight of it, but Newcastle coming out on top. Let's move on to the Tottenham-Everton game, shall we? Spurs line up with Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Romero, Ben Davis, and Emerson Royale at left back today. Double pivot in front of them of Pape Sarr and Oliver Skipp. Brennan Johnson on the right, Kulusevski in the 10, Heung-min Son on the left, and Richarlison up front today to see if he can carry on his goal-scoring streak. I don't think too many Spurs fans can complain about that lineup too much, to be fair.
Where's
Højbjerg?
Højbjerg is on the bench, and to be fair, between Højbjerg and Skipp, it's kind of like two loaves of the same bread. I don't know if that makes sense. Or two slices of the same loaf. There you go.
Where's see Skipp getting some starting minutes?
Udogie as well. Where's he at?
Udogie, I believe, could be injured. Actually,
Yeah, I think he is.
Yes. One sec. No, he's suspended. Sorry.
Of course he is.
Suspended.
Of course he is.
Udogie and Bissouma, of course, Bissouma after the red card in the last game suspended, and then got quite a few injuries still with Maddison, Van der Ven, Bentancur, Perisic still out long term. But to be fair, I don't think many Spurs fans can complain about the lineup too much. Brennan Johnson again. I think Kulusevski in the 10 has been very crucial the past couple of games.
Yeah.
I think Son against you guys on the left really surprised a lot of Spurs fans in.
Yeah.
We thought Son on the wing is done, especially as a 1v1 player, kind of taking his man on, but maybe Trippier kind of catching him off form on the right time, kind of revitalise him a little bit. And Richarlison's been scoring a couple of goals, so I think playing him through the middle just makes sense. And playing up against his former team today, of course, Jordan Pickford in goal, Patterson at right back, Branthwaite and Tarkowski as a pairing in the middle have been very solid, to be fair. Mikalenko, who's had a rejuvenation at left back, Onana and Idrissa Gueye, who've locked that down in front of them as well. James Garner, United Academy player actually, Dwight McNeil and Jack Harrison on the wings, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin starting up top today as well. What have you lot quickly just made of Sean Dyche's resurgence? I mean, since they've got that 10-point deduction, they've almost been on a mission to be like,
bro,
10 points what?
But for me, it happened even before then, because I feel like when they got that points deduction, they had like 17 points or whatever it was, or some points, and they were on a good run. So I feel like they just continued that. They've not let that negative news or outcome get to them. They've gone out to say, listen, we've got a point to prove. We're better than these sides. We've shown that we are, because we're picking up wins. So I feel like Sean Dyche has done a good job there, man. He's getting the best out of the players. He's found a way that suits them. Key thing is keeping Calvert-Lewin fit. So he's playing now. He's their vocal point up top. They're creating a lot more chances, and Doucouré is playing well. McNeil's playing well. So I don't mind Everton, to be fair to you. They're fighting, but I just feel like this game probably might be one step too far for them. Yeah.
No, fairs.
Eventually.
Let's have a look at some of the other games as well. We've got Fulham v Burnley today. Kickoff's happening in about 6 minutes, so we'll try and rattle through this one. Fulham with Bernd Leno in goal, Castagne, Adoribayo, Bassi and Robinson in the back four. Palhinha and Tom Kearney in front of them. Harry Wilson, Andreas Pereira, sorry. Alex Iwobi and Rodrigo Muniz starting up top today. Quite different to their forward line that they've had the past couple of games. James Trafford in goal for Burnley. Vitinho, Dara, O'Shea, Bayer and Taylor in a back four. Jacob Brun-Larsen on the right. Sander Berge and Brownhill in the centre of midfield. Odebert on the left. Lau Foster and Zeki Amdouni up front. What do we make for predictions for that game, lads?
Actually, no. Burnley away from home, they're awful. I feel like Burnley's issues that the goals that they concede is still self-inflicted. So I'll just go 2-0 Fulham.
2-0 Fulham?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe 1-0 Fulham.
Fulham have been on a rampage lately, but
playing well.
With that change of the striker now, I'm just thinking, obviously Jimenez suspended after that red card against you guys last week, which was, I couldn't stop laughing, to be fair.
That was crazy.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
But Deckled over Reed, I thought Vinicius maybe would have been played through the middle. But I would expect Fulham to still win this one 1-0, I would go. I didn't get your predictions for the Everton-Spurs game as well. I'm going to go Spurs 2-1.
I said 2-0 Spurs. I don't see Everton scoring. Yeah, 2-0 Spurs.
I'll go 2-1 as well because it's at home. If it was at Everton, I might look at a draw, but at you guys' ground, I think you guys should.
Yeah. And then the final 3 o'clock kickoff today is Nottingham Forest at home at the City Ground versus Bournemouth. And they have Matt Turner in goal, Nico Williams at right back, Willy Bolly, Murillo and Toffolo at left back, Ryan Yates and Mangala in front of them. Divock Origi, Morgan Gibbs-White and Elanga in a 3 behind Chris Wood. And Bournemouth line up with Neto in goal, Adam Smith at right back, Zebeni and Senesi in a pairing at the back. Tavernier at left back today, funnily enough. Lewis Cook and Philip Billing in a double pivot in front of them. Dango Ouattara on the right. Semenyo and Christie behind Solanke. What have you guys made of Bournemouth's kind of resurgence over the past couple of weeks as well?
They've been good.
Raiola really turned it around. You guys impressed with them?
100%. I mean, anyone that puts 3 past Man United gets my vote of confidence. But it's been really impressive, and Nottingham Forest as well, man. I mean, Chris Wood is not someone that, I don't know, he's probably your type of striker, but he's not someone that inspires a huge amount of confidence. But the three behind him is a well-schooled midfield three. Gibbs, White, Elanga, Origi, they've all got goals in them. They've all got ability. So, I could see this being like a 2-2 draw.
Honestly,
I could see goals both sides.
I think this is actually one of those
sleeper games,
exciting games because you're seeing a lot of direct runners, Semenyo, Ouattara, Elanga, Gibbs White. These are players who actually want to make the game tick. I'm looking at Philip Billing, who obviously had a good game as well. Dominic Solanke, I'm looking at him these days, and I'm almost thinking of Wilson 2.0. I'll be honest with you, and it's funny that he's at Bournemouth because Wilson was there as well. But the way he's kind of evolved over the past couple of years, what have you kind of made of his game?
I think he's overlooked, man, for England as well. Because if you look at
for England,
because look. If you're looking at the top scorers, right, in the Premier League, he's up there. Yeah. He's got, I feel like 7 or 8 goals in the Premier League, playing at Bournemouth as well. So, if Southgate is picking Nketiah, right,
he's not,
and these guys, but he's picked him this season, right, for England, right. You've got to be looking at players like Solanke playing for Bournemouth and still scoring goals.
I hear you, but Nketiah he's never going to any major tournament. Let's be honest.
That's fine.
He's never going to major tournament.
I'm not saying he is, but he's picked him still. He's picked him over these sort of players this season, and I feel like if he's doing that, man, you've got to be looking at players who's playing week in, week out. And
you think he deserves a cap or something like that?
Just a call up at least, because
he's those kind of friendlies.
He's up there with the top goal scorers, and he's English as well. So he's done pretty well. I'm pleased for him.
Predictions, you said 2-2. You're going 2-2 as well?
Yeah, probably 2-2, man.
I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1. Yeah. But yeah, that's all the games. Games are kicking off in 2 minutes as well. We of course have the Liverpool Arsenal game at 5:30 as well, which we'll probably tuck into a little bit more in the second half. And as the lineups come out, we'll discuss that a little bit more. Of course, we will try and keep you covered across all the other games happening elsewhere as well. That is across Europe, if any do happen as well. I don't see any games in France at the moment, but Atletico Madrid play Sevilla, which we'll try and keep an eye on as well. You know what I mean? It's what we do around here, Saturday Football Show. But make sure you're getting involved as well. Make sure you're smashing the likes as the stream is currently on 250. Let's try and get that up to about 1,000, shall we? A few super chats that have come in as well, and send your predictions in as well. We'll try and get through some of them as well. Ethan DeVille says, Ten Hag's day of reckoning is near. Don Unai Emery, please deliver the RKO. I want to wake up Monday with a Sky Sports yellow bar. He has been sacked. They're preying on your downfall, ETH. Juiceall says, for United fans who are still ETH in, I want to know, what would it take for you guys to want him out?
But who else is there to bring in, though? That's the question. Like, these fans, who else do you want? Because if it's not going to be Ten Hag, I get it. But who else is out there for you to bring in, and that's going to make not interim? You know, right now you need long term. So who else out there can you bring into?
But you know, these
famous clip I always see on Twitter: Zinedine Zidane.
He don't want it, man.
Zinedine Zidane.
You know what it is though? with him, yeah. If they had the takeover for Qatar, he would have probably seen that and said, you know what, I fancy this. But because it's the same old United, you know, he's not going to go there and risk his reputation of, you know, winning 3 CLs in a row at Real Madrid, being this elite person in football. You know,
if they don't get top 4, they ain't getting Zidane. Zidane's not going to play. Zidane's not going to manage a team in the Europa League, and he could ruin his legacy by having too much power and go in there with a club with no structure. Yeah, these men always look like the shiny new toy. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they're being linked to Potter after 10 games, and they see the things. These men are so they're so entitled. After like 10, 15 games, they were looking at Ange. They're like, yeah, we'll just take Ange then. Right now, they'd probably take Unai Emery. They'll take anyone at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's just the reality. If you offered most United fans the opportunity to have Ange manage them from January or have Unai Emery manage them from January, they would take it. And these men are early. Ange is early in his Prem career. Do you know what I'm saying? Who knows? But that's just where they're at. He could go on to be very good, but that's where these men are at. They just want it. They want it to stop. They want the pain to stop. I hear that. Do you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you've got to go through the pain to get better. And at the moment, but that's part of the reason why they won't get any better, because they won't go through that pain. They just refuse.
Says,
I agree with you,
the United job is a poison chalice. Tina says, look at the manager United have had since Sir Alex retired. Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Solskjaer, Ranić and Ten Hag. Ralph also told the press, all that's needed at United is a post-heart surgery, which kind of gives you a damning indictment.
But every manager has told them what they need, apart from maybe Moyes, because it was early on, but all of the other managers since have told them what they need. Everybody knows what they need. They just refuse to do it. Game's kicked off at Tottenham, by the way.
Game has kicked off over there. We will keep an eye on all the games and goals as they go in.
Come on,
as per usual as well. On the Saturday Football Show, we always like to predict who the first goal scorer and when the first goal will happen. Can we get a prediction, guys? Who do you guys think? Let us know in the comments who you think as well. I remember 2 weeks ago, I made a great guess, of course, Dominic Solanke.
I see that, 4 minutes.
Bro,
that's
crazy,
mad.
Crazy. I was just in
How did you call that?
I woke up that morning with... Did my breathing take... Oh! Sorry. I thought Pape Sarr almost did something magical there. But, yes, first goal scorer, minute. Let us know in the comments. FT Clips already says Adebayo, 14 minutes.
Negative. That is negative. I'm going to say Willian, Fulham, 8 minutes.
Ooh, okay. I am going to go at the Forest-Bournemouth game. Dominic Solanke, 7 minutes. Hey, if I get this right,
I'll pay you a $5.
Jack Harrison, 10 minutes.
Look at Tina. Tina Solomon Solanke, 6 minutes. Juiceall says Calvert-Lewin, 10 minutes.
What did you say?
Jack Harrison, 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Against Everton. Spurs.
Against Spurs.
Avon Barksdale says Calvert-Lewin, 10 minutes. Sandy says Joe Linton, 13 minutes. Beto.
Is he playing for us?
5 goals in the first 25 minutes. Damn. What are you cooking over there? Scott Ram says Gordon, 11 minutes.
Yeah. Jolinton's not
and there's Jack Harrison now.
And
what a dead ball that was.
Spurs are able to deal with it. But
Origi, 35. Decore, 87. Avon Barksdale. First goal. 87 minutes for the first goal. I'm going home, bro. I'm going to get some wings or something.
I just can't says Son will score first. I like your mentality, man. Marquitos similarly says Ross Barkley 90 plus 5. Hey man, we want to enjoy some football today, please. Yeah, we need some goals. Augustus Water says Son 9 minutes. Umair Mohammed says Saka first minute. Well, that'll be at 5:30, so I hope not.
Love to see it.
Right, first couple of minutes in the Spurs-Everton game, they're just going. Emerson Royale there getting involved in some antics as per usual at left back today as well, so bit of a job for him. I know he's tried playing there in an auxiliary role a few times, but hasn't always worked out the best. Ben Davis at centre back as well, although he's looked a little bit better. But Everton 4 wins out of the last 5, 4 wins in a row as well, so no slouches for sure, man.
Everton corner here.
Everton have a corner early on and probably sending Tarkowski and Branthwaite forward here. Oh, loads of people sending in as well. Origi 7 minutes, Solanke 24 minutes, Kulusevski 12 minutes, says John Chiari.
This is such a
X today says Beto 15 minutes. Cabello says Richarlison 27 minutes. Aye. Right. Deep corner here.
This is like
Quite
such
going
an
the way they thought it
important part of the season, and you know, like when the games come in thick and fast, you've got 4 games in like a week and a half, whatever it is, and you know, like I feel like now is where the gaps start to open with the top 4 or in the title race, and this is the bottom 3.
I always say in a weird way here, December and January I always feel like are the most important parts of the season
100%,
because the way the fixtures pile up, the way FA Cup comes back in, which becomes a borderline distraction, especially in those early parts until you get deeper late into the rounds. I think that's when teams start really looking at it like, oh, we could win this. But I always think January, February are so crucial. Oh, sorry, January, December, because January, of course, you get the window as well where you get the one chance to kind of improve your squad in the. And after that is really when the sprint to the end of the season begins, in my opinion, because Europe then comes back in. Now you're in the later rounds of the Cup. If you're in the Carabao Cup, you're going to be playing your semi-finals and finals in February. It's basically chaos. Every game after that January window closes has an impact on something. You cannot afford to drop points. You cannot afford to lose games.
Especially because December's the part, again, as an Arsenal fan, December's the part where people get injured so much. There's so many games in such a tight period of time. You play in every 2 or 3 games. I think United's playing like 7 times in December or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have so many games, so many injuries, and then you've got the opportunity in the next month or next 3-4 weeks to really finish off building your squad, assess long-term injuries, players that you would normally rush back. You're saying, listen, chill, we've got someone that's going to cover you for the time being, alone, whatever the case may be, and then then you know what parts you've got to play with for the rest of the season.
And also, I think Boxing Day is the halfway mark, 19 games.
Yeah.
So that's a long, and that's what I was saying to you actually at the start. I feel like being top at Christmas, it does have some importance, because it's like if you're going for the league, and if you're looking at the previous winners and stuff, going off the record and going off the stats, obviously I know that's not always the be and all, but it has some importance because you'd rather be there than be second or third or fourth. So
yeah, you'd rather be in the lead than be chasing. But I think in the last few seasons where we've had, normally in the Prem, going back 25, 30 years, you've got one team that's heavy favourites to win it, maybe 2 teams in really great eras. Remember Man United, Chelsea era, Man United, Arsenal era, do you know what I'm saying? And then you've had the Man City, Liverpool era. But as we've come into last 3-4 years, when you've got 2 teams, 3 teams, maybe even 4 teams that are really competing, that becomes less and less important. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I think historically, like 80% of the time, whoever's top at Christmas goes on to win it. But yeah, in the last few years, basically it's just us, innit? If we're if you're at top at Christmas and you're not Arsenal, you'll go on to win it, innit? If it's us, then it just won't happen, innit? That's just the way it is. But
I mean, I heard it because you're talking from experience and you're
no, relax.
Interesting. Admitting to being one of the bottle. Clip that, will you? The arseholes clips, yeah? Yeah, do your thing, yeah?
You should have a bit more faith.
Facts. It's all there. Do you know what I'm saying?
There has been goals gone in elsewhere as well, by the way. Blackburn, of course, former Premier League champions, have taken the lead against Watford, which kind of feels like a former Premier League clash, to be fair. 1-0 over there, which is the first goal in the Championship today. Of course, after the earlier kickoff for 2-0 win for Leeds versus Ipswich.
Calvert-Lewin could be in.
Are on the break here.
He should have got a shot on target. He's on his weaker foot.
He should have.
Monster
definitely
at the
should
back
have.
there called Christian Romero. That's a World Cup winner. That's a shackled
Big tackle.
dog
Big tackle.
right
And
there.
Calvert-Lewin is down.
Recovery is what they call that one.
Pressed him on a mistake.
Yeah, the midfield has been. They've been pressing.
McNeil's cold, man.
McNeil's done brilliantly there. That touch
That
takes
touch
it a little
there,
bit
yeah.
wide.
Look how he recovers, though, man.
I've
Timing.
Listen, I'll be honest with you,
That
man.
is striking fear and
100%.
intimidation into your opposition. You know when man hear your footsteps and they're like, they start second guessing themselves. Gotta go right foot, left foot.
you do the stomp to make the noise.
Yeah.
A few seasons ago, when we were linked to Calvert-Lewin, I said, I don't know, man. I'm not sold. Even when he was like starting to break into the England team and that, I said, I know he's good and he's got some ability and he's a different type of striker to. In terms of the England setup, he's a different type of striker to Wilson or Kane, but. To me, man.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Who called it?
I have some news.
Who called it?
There is a goal. Who has scored the first goal of the day, Nick? Please tell us.
It's for Charleston, isn't it? It's that North London pigeon.
What number did he score in?
You didn't say that.
Ninth minute. I didn't say it.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know what they say? Richarlison, 9th minute. They call that one R9.
Are we letting him get away with this?
Hey.
Are we letting him get away with this?
1-0
Are we letting him get away
to
with
the
this?
mighty Tottenham. Sorry, I am here.
Just saying,
Get
that's
away
what
with
host
it.
today.
R9.
Yes. I am
Clip
sorry.
that. R9.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying. It's what the chat are saying. I'm not saying it.
Chat,
But
don't let him put that on you.
Richarlison has given us the first goal of the Premier League today. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspurs. We will probably get a rerun. I see it. Here it is. Brennan Johnson whips it in.
Easy.
And Richarlison near post.
Easy.
Sniffing the goal.
Okay.
This is what we've been wanting, Richarlison. Smell the goals. Be in the right
muted
areas.
celebration. He went to celebrate at first and
of
then...
Of course, because he's been there before. How many times has he been booked for celebrating?
I think it's for Everton
And the
as
goal
well.
is allowed.
Everton fans as well. But this is what he's capable
Respect.
of. Like, we saw it in the World Cup for Brazil. We've seen it at Everton in some moments. Watford too, but you know, like this, he's got goals in him. He just needs to find a place that suits him, a manager that believes in him. He has that now. And once you score 1, 2, 3 goals in straight away. So
yeah,
Someone that's
really
growing.
poor from near post from I don't know if that's Branthwaite or Tarkovsky there.
Tarkowski, yeah.
Yeah, he really
Got
should have
beaten.
picked him up there. But listen, you
Someone
do what
that's
you can.
growing into the position as Brennan Johnson. You know, at the
Fully.
start of the season, didn't look so great, and I still don't necessarily think he's the best player. However, what he is doing well is playing for spaces. He's got what can he do? He's got legs. He can get behind his defender. He can put a good ball into the box. He can hit a certain target space and just make the game a little bit more simple and attack spaces.
I don't think initially when he came in, he really got too many chances. To be fair, I remember he was coming off the bench, and some of the games he was actually having a decent impact. Similar, as you said, providing that bit of extra energy late in the game, what you need, stretch the game, getting behind. And as obviously we've had injuries, Maddison go down, Kulusevski moves into the middle. That's given him a little bit more opportunity to make that right wing his own, because I don't think coming off the left he's really got the shooting or finishing ability, in my opinion, to really be as proficient from there. And in the 9, I think Richarlison and Son Heung-min, in my opinion, are better options. But that right wing role now, he's kind of almost that old school, get to the byline, get your crosses in and get your balls in, and that's what you can kind of produce. But Richarlison, that's what I want to see, picking up those kind of spaces, smelling the
100%.
danger, because as a centre forward, it's like, I remember Shearer, Owen, they always used to, Van Nistelrooy, the amount of goals they used to get off
Cut across that
just from
interest.
being in the right place at the right time. And as a striker, you almost, if you're not born with those instincts, you've kind of got to start finding a way to smell that. And I feel like sometimes Richarlison lacks those natural instincts as a striker. I feel like he's more of a workhorse, if you like. And I'm like, sometimes you just want to be a bit of a better forward, and moments like that, I hope it can just...
That's the thing with Brazil, that with you got Firmino, you got Jesus, you got a lot of Richarlison maybe as well. You've got a lot of strikers that want to be involved in the build-up play and not the final action player, just being on the end of the ball, goal, and that's it. Do you mean they really want to get involved?
This is now the first time I think Richarlison, since he signed for Spurs, he scored in 3 games in a row. So you kind of hope, obviously, in a period where you actually do need him the most, this can kind of be a real kickstarter for maybe a second half of the season we weren't expecting, and it almost feels like a new signing. But
and Spurs obviously losing Kane Did you guys bring in anybody?
No. And I said that in the summer. I said replacing Kane is going to be virtually impossible. Do you know what's so funny? I would have maybe gone for Højlund in the summer, looking at kind of potential profile-wise. Oh my God! And it's almost 2-0 there. Brennan Johnson there with close. But I said I don't think there's really a natural replacement out there. And for the funds, a lot of these teams are asking for Osimhen, for Højlund. You've seen Højlund, how it's kind of turned up now. Had we spent that money and it really blown up in our face, it would have been like, you guys really regret selling Kane and
would have managed Højlund better.
2.0. Probably you would say that probably, but
and he probably would have went for less money.
Yeah.
If
I think in the summer, funnily enough, I even tweeted it out where everyone thought I kind of hated Son, and I said no. I think there's a redemption arc left in here. Move him into the 9 because I think one thing about Son Heung-min, everybody knows he has world-class finishing ability. That's one thing you can't deny him. He's able to pick up spaces. Can he still use a bit of his pace properly? I still think he can. So get him in the areas where now we actually have creators in the team. Now we actually have people who could support him in other areas. Madison, Sarr and Basuma doing all the running for you. You don't need to do that. Just stay in the box and be dangerous. And you've seen this season, even his link-up play is better than kind of I expected. But
in League One, I know it's not the Prem, but in League One, Bolton 3-0 up against Leyton Orient in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes.
They're having a field day, man.
It's mad.
Moving like Bolton from the Premier League days.
This top 4 race is heating up though. With Spurs winning now, is literally now City's not playing this weekend, but they drop out of the top 4 and they go into
They're
5th.
5th at the moment, yeah, of course.
When was the last time City were not in the top 4?
I can't remember.
I mean, this is on like how it looks at the moment. Let's
No, of
remember
course,
they just literally won the Club World Cup. They are the world champions of football.
Let's
actually
world champions. Talk about that because I feel like that competition or that trophy doesn't get enough respect because people say you're playing against Brazilian teams or Asian teams, whatever.
Yeah, because you're not playing against Europe's elite.
But to get there, there's a journey to get there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you've won the Champions League, so that and then you've won a Super Cup. So you're going there as Europe's best against other continents best. Exactly. So and even if you're up against these sides, for me, that competition is brazy because it's like you're...
I still think you have to win it, bro. Let's not forget, was it Chelsea when they won the Champions League, they didn't win it? Like, there have been teams that have won the Champions League.
No, you have listen. You have to win it, but it's still dead. Like the trophy in itself.
That's mad.
Ain't no way Arsenal fan who I know has definitely been parading.
Bro, that's crazy.
Definitely bragged about the community shield.
100%. And other people tell me that it's dead.
So
other people tell me that it's dead.
And
other people that's exactly what I was going to.
Cup means you're
that's what I was going to say.
Club World champion because
but bro, everyone knows that European football is elite, bro. At the end of the day, if you were playing a pre-season friendly against some of these clubs that you're playing in the Club World Cup, or if like you sold a player to them, or if Lionel Messi went there, one of your players went there, people be saying, "Oh, they're washed, innit? They're playing in that league. It's not a top 5 league. It's not a European league. Nobody cares. It's a washed league. Blah blah blah." Do you know what I'm saying? So then you can't beat them and then brag about the trophy. The journey to get to the trophy is more impressive than winning the trophy itself.
But that's what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
So but to get there, and also, so how else would you do it? Because that's
the same as the Community Shield. The journey to get to the Community Shield is more impressive than winning the Community Shield.
No, because your Community Shield, the reason why it's even more shameless.
I know, because
no. Your one is shameless because we finished second and runners up.
But
you shouldn't even be there.
I'm just
talking about the Community Shield generally. I'm just talking about the Community Shield generally. I'm not talking about just us because we're shameless, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? We got a trophy. I understand. You ain't got one. You're upset. I hear you. I feel the energy. But the point is, I'm talking about the Community Shield in general.
For me,
the Community Shield in general.
World Cup is the reason why that trophy exists. Every continent has their Champions League.
Of course.
I don't care what level you play at.
Rank the trophies that you would want to win. Rank the trophies you would want to win.
Asian Cup is
people even banter us about FA Cup. People even banter us about FA Cup.
European football is the best. So therefore, as long as
Everything
you win
else-
Champions League,
that's
everything
it.
else is crap. And I'm like, nah, bro.
Nah, man.
Global football still exists.
Everyone does that.
That's the whole reason why Morocco's story, when they went to the World Cup semi-final,
Everyone was so shocked.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is so hot. Like, that's the whole reason. Right now, if City did lose that, everyone would be looking at, raw, you man couldn't beat Fluminense with 37-year-old Marcelo. Like, they still got it done. For me, I think a trophy is still a trophy. And at the same point, they had to play all the other best teams in the world to go and get their to go and get that trophy. And ladies and gentlemen, we have our second goal of the day.
No one else scoring, man.
Do you want to tell us who the second goal scorer was?
Second goal scorer was the player that has never won the Club World Cup or the Carabao Cup or any of these cups. It's Son, 2-0
Son
to Tottenham.
Hyun-min, 18 minutes in, 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspurs. And listen, this day couldn't get any better, could it?
What did I say for Spurs game? 2-0, didn't I? Or 2-1? 2-0, I said 2-0.
He said 2-0, I said 2-1.
They're saying VAR's looking at it potentially.
Is it?
Sean Dyche, hype, come outside! Oh.
Everton are creating some chances though. They're not playing dead. They're creating some chances.
To be fair though, that has been almost the evolution of Everton this season. They're not that low block, ugly team that everybody tries to associate Sean Dyche with. They've actually been creating a lot of chances, scoring a few goals, and comes off the corner, comes off a rebound, and Son Heung-min is there to eat it up. It's easy as you like.
I can see why it's going to VAR.
Nil, man. I love this. It's a beautiful day, man. So many times I've been on the 3 o'clock kickoffs where Spurs are playing, and I swear to you, I've been here Ward-Prowse dunking on me. Bro, it's not always been pretty. So you know what? Let's just hope it kind of stays this way, because a lot of times this season we've gone 1-0 up and then haven't been able to always kill off the game with that second. Against Newcastle, we were able to, and today once again.
That could be offside, just because he's impacting the goalkeeper. He's directly in the.
They've given it.
No, man, because there's also 2 players for Everton there too. So it's
bro.
There's nothing he would have done to stop there.
Allow it.
On the level,
Pickford
Big man. I was going to say,
the
big man thing. We got to have a conversation about Pickford as well. This guy. This guy. The first shot that comes in from, I think it's Kulusevski.
You've got to save that.
He palms it straight into. First of all, we have this conversation all the time about palming the ball and not catching it. It's straight at him, and he palms it straight back into the danger area. You want to palm it away, palms it straight back into the danger area, and then of course it leads to a goal. The first one as well was a good finish, but keeper getting beaten at the near post. You got to ask some questions, man. We've got to ask some questions.
Dale Wilson says, Club World Cup is on the same level as the UEFA Super Cup and the Community Shield. Agree.
I agree.
It probably is
Well,
in terms of prestige.
not
you
same
still
level.
are labelled
Would it be above or lower?
No, but it's the same process, yes. As in, obviously, teams who win competitions play each other. But I feel like
in terms of it's.
So
not
you
a
think
major,
you think it's better? You think it's more impressive, or do you think it's less impressive
than the Super Cup?
Yeah,
of course, because it's.
Well, it's a Super Cup of the world, essentially.
Yeah, and also you.
What you think Community Shield playing against the runners-up means?
I didn't say Community Shield.
Like, man, you runners-up.
Again, man, it's the journey.
we ran all the way to winning it. You know, like that.
After leading for the longest, you're runners-up.
I'm leaving here with something.
Now, for me personally, it's the journey that you go on to get there in the first place, and then to then have to win it against these different sides. Because, bro,
I think it's very good that exists, because you're right. World football deserves a shine, and it's big for those clubs to get to play against the Premier League team, and all of it. I understand that, but we're being selective in it, because we all talk about top 5 leagues. We all say if you see a player that you're
being selective about, because all I said was they're world champions.
Hear what I'm saying? Where we're being selective is when people are saying, but you know, we got to respect them, and they've got to beat these teams and blah blah blah. If you got a player, if you had a player at your club, young player that you sent out on loan to go and play in Asia or to go and play in Brazil, and they couldn't cut it, you would be nervous about them coming to play back in your team. You'd be like, bruv, this guy's washed. If he can't play in Brazil and he can't play in Asia, he can't play for my club. So you're accepting that the European elite top 5 clubs is still the elite of football.
No one's disputing that.
Yeah.
So then it's not as impressive to go and win a trophy. To go and win a trophy against teams that are.
I don't understand why it's not impressive. Of course,
No,
it's impressive.
it's not as impressive.
As impressive as what?
As to win, to be playing, it's got to hold more notoriety to go and play. It's going to be harder for you guys, say, to go and beat Arsenal than it is to beat Fluminense.
But
of course,
but how did they
there's
get
no
there,
disputing
though?
that. But guess what? Arsenal got to get to the Club World Cup.
Yeah, 100%.
Can they?
100%.
Didn't.
You have to win the Champions League.
Voila.
Or maybe Europa League.
Like
whatever.
every team there has earned their stripes to be there, is what I'm saying.
It's a
Regardless
journey, bro.
of what their quality is. At the end of the day, it's a collection of all the champions around the world come together. Now we're going to decide a world champion. I don't see how winning that means any... Oh, it's not impressive. Bro, I'm the world champion.
Bro.
Respect me
And
as the
players
world
too.
champion.
And players
I've
too.
dominated in my country. I've dominated in my continent, and now I've gone globally, and all you other champions, you might not be as big and bad as me.
Hold it.
But guess what? You got to hold it.
Of course.
There was times when you could have said that about Chelsea, they didn't win it. There was times you could have said that about United, they didn't win it.
Exactly.
Guess what? They didn't get the little cute gold badge that, you always see Madrid with.
Remember you have it
Yeah.
right there.
I'm sure if Arsenal had that in the middle of their badge, man would be rocking it every week.
Mate.
But it's not as impressive because they played some Saudi team or they played Fluminense. I'm not hearing that.
Same,
Respect
bro.
it.
Same, man.
Accolades are earned.
Bro.
You gotta be there to win it.
And also these
When you're there and you win it, I can. You too.
I'll see you there.
I will celebrate.
I'll see you there.
My knee slide. Trust me. A Carabao Cup, I will celebrate it. But you acting like, hey, I'm above this. It's little. Nah, man.
And like the players themselves, they would want to win it too. They would want to say, bro, like
we've done the sextuple or the quintuple.
I've achieved this. I've won Club World Cup.
There is nothing worse, I feel like, than winning the actual big accolades, for example, Champions League, and then you go on to lose the Super Cup and the Club World. I'm like, what? So what, was that a lucky run or? Nah, the real proof of champions is winning everything and cleaning up the next year as well. And listen, if they go on and compete for a treble this year, spooky.
because
spooky.
That game I watched it as well, and you can see the reaction of the players when they score. Foden, when he scored to make it, I think 3-0, he was delighted. He's thinking like, I've come from the youth team setup and now I'm scoring in a World Club Cup final, and we're gonna win this. Like, for them, it's an achievement, and I hear it, man. Like I hear it. Like all the top players, you want to win everything, innit? And you want to say at some point in my career, I won this trophy. So yeah, man. Kudos to Man City, man, and kudos to
LJ Brown sends a super chat. He says it's only English fans who don't respect it.
It's crazy.
Divi Patel says Foden the GOAT, bro. The post speech was goated. Chief Coulet says new Club World Cup is kind of dead though. Euro teams being qualified on coefficient points instead of Champions League winners only. I heard about that as well. Yeah, I don't like that change. There is a change that they're bringing where some other European teams will qualify through coefficient to the Club World Cup rather than it being just the Champions League winners. That's where it becomes a little bit like, some of you man ain't earned the right to be here, So that I fully agree with.
So this is the last time I'm hearing this speech from you, man. Then this speech is going to be dead.
Listen,
this speech is going to be obsolete in 6 months, blood. You know what I'm saying? So you might keep talking.
Elsewhere as well.
Ooh.
Hey,
would you like to tell us where that goal has gone?
Me?
Yes, please.
Luton has scored 1-0. Andros Townsend against Newcastle. That's crazy.
Aye. Former Spurs boy Andros Townsend and former Everton player as well. Actually, both teams playing today. 25th minute.
And he's playing on Trippier's side, so I want to see how they score that goal, man. But mate, this needs to change. This our way hoodoo, whatever you call it, it needs to get better. And this is a good opportunity to do that.
I wonder if it's going to be a banger because traditionally, like this brother mostly scores bangers. Like he don't even really score.
He's probably sitting on the edge of the box.
Yeah, I was thinking, waiting for edge of the box and just 100%. Watch it be something.
Luton Town ain't easy, man. And they always specialise on like set pieces. I remember, was it
Kenilworth Road, blood?
2 or 3 weeks ago, I remember they were just...
Oh, look at that little tapping, bro. Like you said.
Classic. Yeah. From a corner, win the first duel.
New hair.
And then second ball.
New hair and everything, Hey,
it's listen. Mad. Can't ruin the transplant, baby. You know what I'm saying? Andros Townsend, 1-0 Luton. Hey, shrugs it. It's
how
nothing.
Can he celebrate? He played for us.
He don't love you.
But fine, he don't love you. Fair. But
how long did he play for you?
Like 2 seasons. He played for us, I think.
He was pre-transplant days, man.
And I think we got him in again. So around 2 seasons, to be fair.
He's only really got love for, I feel like, Everton, Spurs, Newcastle.
But I'm pleased for him because he's
holding up his
Lockyer's jersey as well. Big him up, man.
Of course, yeah.
Big him up, man.
Of
course,
great celebration.
He stopped playing ball. He went into the media, and he said he had trials for other teams, and he had a trial for Luton, and he said that they weren't going to sign him because he had a trial game and he stunk it up.
Yeah.
But Rob Edwards, the coach, believed in him, told the club, listen, like let's give him a chance in it, and then he had another trial game, stunk that up too.
Wow.
But they chose to sign him on a short-term deal. I think it was like 4 months contract, 3 months contract, and he's pleased with himself. Like now he's back in the Premier League playing against the biggest clubs in the world and scoring goals. So I'm pleased for his story, but Newcastle bro, like there's no excuse for us to lose.
But
this
also,
game.
you're going there, like, not to trivialize it. I don't want to talk about it for too long, but you're going there after the thing that happened with Tom Lockyer as well.
Of
so
course.
you know that pre-game
Of course,
speech and what that's going to be like when you're
course.
playing against a team that's got that hunger.
Emotion,
It's so
yes.
mad.
Townsend has Townsend Senior.
Well,
on the back of his shirt.
we were speaking about this a couple of weeks ago. They were saying, is there any other player that's referred to them as senior while they're still playing? Because I think he had a kid, didn't he? And then he changed his name to Townsend
I know
Senior.
his one might be like Andros Jr. or whatever.
That's what everyone is talking
bro.
about. That's it. And his little one's a baby as well. It's not even like he's kicking ball.
I even used to be baffled when Neymar had like Junior on the back of his shirt. I'm like, bro, your dad is not playing.
Yeah,
you can call
yeah.
yourself Neymar. Like, it doesn't make sense. But
Apparently
I guess
in Portuguese, that's what the Enio means.
it means little.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. So
It
yeah.
does, yeah. That's still.
So 1-0 in the Luton versus Newcastle at Kenilworth Road. Still 2-0 at Spurs as well.
That's
We
crazy.
have had a red card in the Forest Bournemouth game. Second yellow card for Willy Bolly in the 23rd minute. Musa Niakate replacing Divock Origi as they shift things around there. But some people saying it's a shameful red card as well. But we'll see if we can get some footage.
That was
on
the game
as
we
well.
said there was going to be drama in. So
Yeah.
there's definitely going to be
Looks
some
like
goals
it's kicking
now.
off. Fulham Burnley are still 0-0 as well, and Sheffield Wednesday have taken the lead against Cardiff over there as well. Anthony Musaba scoring in the 28th minute. A few super chats coming in as well. This one's funny. Mazoon says, Nick talking about the Club World Cup is like your virgin friend giving you advice on how to last longer. Bro, shut it and admire greatness.
Honestly,
I ain't got
levels, bro. Like,
we have more trophies than both of you.
you've never done it or been there before.
You ain't been here, big man.
But that don't make sense because neither of you lot. So using that logic, that don't make no sense.
What do you mean?
But I'm not saying.
Neither of you
it's-
lot. Neither of you lot been there and done
No,
it.
but for me, it's just the appreciation of
Yeah.
being able to win something.
And be there and
You should
do
be
it.
able to appreciate that on any aspect, whether you've won or not. Do you know what I mean? The fact that you've not won makes it even more respectable. Do you know what I mean?
Man can't have opinions these days,
Arsenal
man. So,
fans.
I ain't got no.
Arsenal
I'm not
fans.
Musa. I'm in it. I ain't got no brethren as virgins. You know, like that. He's speaking from experience.
Lengen Sweet sends a super chat as well. Big up everyone who's involved in the chat as well. He said, people like to cook my boy when he's not playing well, but Foden has been consistent this season. And I would like to know you guys' opinion. Honestly, I think it's one of the misconceived narratives that he's inconsistent at times. So I feel like this year he's actually been very good. I think it was only maybe last week against Palace when I thought he had a fairly quiet game, but outside of that, I thought he's been brilliant this season. He's been City's most creative player at points. Of course, you're never going to replicate the same level of creativity KDB gives you.
Yeah.
But he always gives you that little bit of X factor. I always feel. I remember the game against Villa where he was absolutely quality, and I was just like, bro, there's some of these magical touches that he does where it just makes you think, what a footballer, bro. And I don't know. I think the sky is the limit for him. I just hope that when KDB comes back in, his role is not diminished or impacted, or if anything, because I know Alvarez, Bernardo, Foden,
Central,
one of them's going to be affected. So
Or
I just
moved out,
hope
100%.
this season for me, he's shown I can be that guy week in, week out.
Yeah.
So I just hope it continues furthermore, to be fair.
I agree with you, man. I'm a big fan of Foden from young, and for him, people. I saw that he won like 16 trophies so far in his career, and people say, "Oh, because he's a Man City," but you have to understand the levels you have to be at to play for Man City. There's so many players that were in his youth team that's not there. There's players that's come in, like Phillips from Leeds, and Pep's brought him in. He's not played a minute of football, but he's kept himself at a level where he's playing week in, week out for Man City. If it's inconsistent, it's because Pep's been Pep. Pep before would have liked to take players out and then bring them back in, and then that affects them. But with Foden, he's been playing the way he's playing for the past 3-4 years, and as you say, like the sky is the limit or a limit for him, because he can go beyond that and win more things. He's won a treble, he's won Club World Cup. You know, he's won literally. There is all to win for him. So, and I don't see City sort of slowing down. So for him, as long as he stays this way, and for England too. England are now having players that are winners because they need that as well. Like you know, you see France have winners in their sides, players who win for their club and for the country. Now England are getting that too with players like Foden, with Kyle Walker, with John Stones, and all these guys. They're getting used to winning. They can take that now into the national team and bring their winning mindset into it and help them also win his Euros. But Foden for me is key, man. He's such a talent.
Before the Bellingham kind of not resurgence, but before Bellingham really hit the heights, you know, you had Bellingham before he went Hollywood for sure. Before he was doing all that, do you know what I'm saying? You had him, Saka, Sancho, Foden, and it was widely considered that Foden had the highest ceiling. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And now maybe you could throw Bellingham in that conversation as well because of the stuff that he's doing at a club like Real Madrid. But yes, Foden for me, technical ability wise, still has possibly the highest ceiling, and he is in a team of superstars. Do you know what I mean? And that's the nature of being in a team of superstars, is that there's always going to be someone pushing. At the moment, for example, with Saka, we might be not approaching his ceiling because he still has a very high ceiling, but we don't have somebody that can push him to the next level because we don't have somebody. He's the dedicated starter, and the players that are behind him are a couple of steps behind him. And so actually we need someone in there that if he's injured or if he's off form, we can just bring someone in that's going to keep his standard high, and that's what we don't have. So that, although he may have spells of inconsistency here and there, and you've got players like around you that are, you know, you've got Doku, you've got Grealish, you've got Silva, you've got all these creative players, but those things are going to help him long term to continue to develop and just keep pushing him to that next level. You know, Bellingham's just a beast, and obviously he just plays week in, week out and just does his thing. But you know, him and Foden together, you know, they're players. You're looking at the England team and you're like, these guys have got to be in there. They have to. Yeah, you've got other players that are a bit of a, you know, James Maddison, Jack Grealish, you can have more of a conversation, a bit more of a debate. Should they, shouldn't they? But Foden, Bellingham, these players, they've got to be in there.
My question to you, because this topic for me is very sensitive. Who would you play in that midfield?
For me personally, it'd be Rice, Bellingham, and Foden, because I've always loved Foden. Oh, great strike off the crossbar! Unbelievable. The keeper was well beaten by Luton. Ross Barkley again, rolling back the years. Look at this strike for it. That's insane. Opens his body. He's about 35 yards out. Ooh. Unbelievable strike, but it's just come off the crossbar. And for me, I know like a couple of seasons ago, there was lots of debate about
rolling back the years
about whether Foden's best position is 10 or out wide. For me, he's a 10, 100%. Like a natural 10, probably the best 10 that England has. Yeah. And I think Declan Rice is probably the best 6 that England has, and I think Bellingham is the best 8 that England has. So that midfield for me is insane to not. It's locked down.
Yeah, but to us it's locked. But to Southgate it's not locked.
Yeah, he's idiot. Do you know what I'm saying? But and then even with Grealish, I think Grealish is very good at 10, but he's so much more effective out wide. So whether he starts or Sterling starts, they both got to be on the plane. But you know, I know Grealish plays better football than Sterling. Well, they play similar levels of football. Grealish obviously in a better team. Sterling's done it in England top for a lot of years, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, for me, that midfield has got to be that. That's the best midfield.
It has to be that. Man.
And then if we change, you know, Maddison's got to be on the plane. You know, he's got to be there, just, you know, for rotation, and for if we want something a little bit different, we want someone less of a ball carrier, more of a shooter. Cool, but yeah, that's got to be the starting midfield for me.
I agree with you, man, because at the end of the day, England's team now is probably the best in the world or Europe, right? So the teams that they're going to be up against probably are going to sit back against them. So they don't need to.
England's team is probably the best in the world.
Probably, yeah, them and France.
Okay.
When you look at Kane, Foden, Bellingham, Rice,
you got Stones in there, you got Kyle Walker in there.
Walker,
Saka. It's a joke. To get me,
if you're talking pound for pound, I can hear they've got one of the strongest squads in the world for sure. And my God, Luton are absolutely rattling Newcastle.
I forgot for a second that it was Newcastle that they were playing. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, who's these man playing? Yeah, Luton.
They're cooking.
They're making a fight of it. They're not going to go there. I told you, Kenilworth Road is not an easy place to go.
Hey, we did say. Half an hour gone. It is still 1-0 at Kenilworth Road. 0-0 at Fulham as well. Forest, a man down, still 0-0 with 8 minutes to go at the City Ground. And Spurs, nice easy Saturday. 2-0 up against Everton. Sean Dyche's men. Let's see what they've got. 8 minutes to go in their first half in a lot of those games as well. Get involved in the conversation as well, guys. Let us know where you're watching from today as well. I always like to do a roll call of where people are watching from. You'd be so surprised, honestly. Some people will tell you Compton, LA. Some people will tell you Tahiti. Some people will tell you Fiji. And I'm always impressed by how far and wide we actually reach. So let us know.
And the time zones. Man are staying up late. Man are getting up early.
Bro. It's crazy. It's mad. So always appreciate you guys
Philippines,
being here and being
Cape
involved.
Town,
Literally,
Toronto.
as you said there, Craig Flynn in the Philippines. There's also about 2,100 of you in here today as well. Appreciate you guys who are here. About 400 likes on the video as well. If you could get that up as well, we would really appreciate that. Let's have a look at this roll call. You got Vans from Cape Town. Big up Sharky's there at the moment as well, funnily enough. I know you're probably hunting for him at some point. NYC says Vargas. Rishabh says Pakistan. Isaiah says Columbus, Ohio.
Sick.
Big up AM as well. He says he's watching from Gotham City, a.k.a. Birmingham.
Not far off.
LJ Brown says Fuad's house. Make yourself comfortable, bruv. Keep the bed warm. Joseph says Ghana. Sujan says Nepal. You see? Go far and wide. If he says the exotic town of Huddersfield. Listen,
Jeez.
we love Huddersfield as well, mate. Trust me. Ad says Bristol, Nashville, Tennessee, Detroit. Hey, I love it. We are far and wide. Happy Human is in a place that doesn't exist. He says Fuad's girlfriend's house. Doesn't exist, mate. Punkbuster says Greece. Oh, the weather must be nice there. Chavi says Mallorca. Shouldn't you be in Barca? FT Clip says Timbuktu. Damn. Zaki Yasser says Slough. Hey, big up Ali G in the house.
Stains, but...
Oh, was it Staines? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. It was.
Slough was Ricky Gervais.
That's the one, yes. Getting them all mixed up. Jakarta, Indonesia says, Shni. Zara says Bangladesh. Murad says Algeria. Big up, man. Hold up says Toronto. Zaki says Hargeisa. Hey, my people, them. Ambrose says Kenya. Max says Vancouver. Simago, Gillingham. Exotic as fuck. Trust me. Montana Prime says Deitch's men look lost out there. It's because he's seen what real men look like. Yeah. Ange's boys ain't nothing to be played with. Giovanni Lopez, big up. He says Memphis, Tennessee.
As a Spurs fan, sorry to interrupt you, but did you see this coming for Spurs? Like, did you see Ange coming in this season and doing what he's doing and getting the players on track like this?
Absolutely not. I think any Spurs fan who says to you they saw this coming is absolutely lying through their teeth, because I think the general consensus when he came in was, okay, the positive people were saying, look, he seems like he's adapted everywhere he's gone. Let's give him a chance. I would say maybe 80% of the fan base was a bit like, is he really the option we need to go for? There could be better option. Because remember, Nagelsmann was like the big name everyone was like falling in love with. Arne Slot came in after winning the title with Feyenoord, and everyone fell in love with him for 2 weeks. And it was like, it seems like every week there's a flavour of the week. Do you know what I mean? And once Ange was the one selected, I was very sceptical, I'll be honest with you. I was like, can he replicate what he did in the Scottish League in here? We've seen Gerrard kind of drown a little bit at Aston Villa. So there was, and then the signings happened, and I was like, Vicario, after going for Raya, was a little bit, what's going on here?
Van der
Ven was like 40 million for a guy who'd spent one season at Wolfsburg and came from Volendam before that. I was like, listen, I'm Dutch and I don't even know about this guy. It's like, this is alarming. I was like, and then Maddison comes in and you're like, okay, this is one I can get behind. Brennan Johnson comes in and you're like,
well, 40 million to
40 million for who?
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I'm skeptical. So, and then 2 days before the season starts, where I'm thinking Harry Kane might get that farewell tour, one last season with Ange, we let him leave on a free, we see Harry Kane 2 days before the season. So if anybody tells me they saw this, you're a big, fat liar,
and
honestly.
That's why I'm so impressed with what Ange has done, to be fair. Because even when he went Celtic as well, like, he got some, like, negative feedback, you know, when he joined there. Celtic fan was like, who's this guy?
Yep.
But he went there, he sort of changed them.
That is one group of people I will say. Celtic fans were in all my mentions. Every YouTube video I did, they were like, there's two footballs on the pitch.
That is gone for a shot.
Sean Dyche is like, what's going on here?
Dyche is not happy. Dyche is not happy at all. At all.
Listen, man. The game is a game. What happened to Liverpool that time? Beach ball hype, yeah? Hey, Premier League, ain't forget.
This got to be an indirect penalty, surely.
I didn't even see that.
Indirect free kick. Look, there's a ball on the pitch. It gets cut across, and he's got a shot right on the ball.
Oh, he's trying to use that as an excuse. He was never going to hit that.
Go kick, man. Goal kick, man.
That's a goal kick,
Goal
bro.
kick, man.
Nah, that's out
That
of order,
ball had
man.
no impact.
Nah,
on
that's
what you
out
were
of
doing.
order, man.
It had no
He didn't know
impact
which
at all.
ball he was going to shoot. That's
Nah,
Nah, that's out of order, man.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah, man.
believe
As a
that.
goal kick
I can't
still
believe what
makes
I've just
sense.
seen. I can't believe what I've just seen. This is how you want to win.
Hey, listen, we take it by any means necessary, baby. You know what
yo.
I'm saying? But this is meant to be a transition. Hey, pause, yeah. Hey. But
it's
this
offside,
is
that's
meant to be a
crazy.
transition season. Oh my
course.
God. It's meant to be a transition
Yeah,
season.
man.
A lot of these players adapting, trying to find a new system, trying to create a new culture. And to be fair, he's very much ahead of schedule, in my opinion, I
mate.
think. And if anything, I'm looking at how the board now react, seeing how we've kind of started the season, how the squad has kind of come together. What are you going to do in January?
You have to spend because there's money there from
this
Kane's transfer. Money there.
Absolutely. There's money left over from Kane in the summer, I believe. And in my opinion, the manager's shown enough of a foundation to show you he's someone who deserves to be backed. And over the past couple of years, we've seen when you sign correctly in January, it can help your second half of the season. I remember when Bergwijn came in that January, won us the City game, won us the United game, gave us a massive boost. The next year, Kulusevski, Bentancur came in, massive boost when they came in, rejuvenated the squad.
You man are January merchants, but I'm not going to lie, bro. You man
Pedro
always.
Porro last year, I
Yeah.
remember he came in, and now you're looking at him thinking, wow, one of the best right backs in the Premier League. So January, I always say, is a time where people say difficult deals.
Can you say that though, Pedro Porro? Is that going to be just allowed to be said? Pedro
What?
Porro.
Define one
on.
of.
Hold on.
Before we move on,
Hold on.
define one of.
How many is one of?
How many is one of?
How many
I'm
is
just
one
asking.
of? 2, 3, 10.
What?
How many one of? How many is
what?
one of?
So wait, there's Trent, there's Trippier,
There's Carl.
Right.
There's Carl Walker.
there's Kyle Walker.
There's
Form-wise, right now, I'm sorry, Porre is top 5 in the Premier League.
I'm not.
Who? You name the name since you lot wanted to debate.
I'm just asking. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
I sit back
Okay,
and
cool.
listen.
Let me think about this then, because
wait.
him being one of is brazy. Like,
That is not a crazy
to me.
statement. I'm sorry.
Do you know what?
If you think Pedro
okay,
Porro
wait,
has
wait,
not been
wait.
one of the best right backs in the Premier League this season, you
think-
haven't been watching Tottenham.
I think Kufal at West Ham has been better than Porro.
He has been solid. He has not been better than Porro.
I-
What
I-
Porro has been able to provide,
Not as good going forward.
hell no.
Better defensively, not as
Oh,
good going
you're a
forward.
soldier. You're a soldier at the back, and yeah, you do the hard yards, but you can nowhere near provide the quality that
I'm just
Porro
not
does.
convinced with him because he's naturally a 10 playing right back. So I feel like
Where did you get this from?
He was.
Who told you this? What,
was.
you think Porro's a number 10?
Porro was playing as a 10. Check it.
I don't know.
Wait, how long
about that.
ago? When?
At
When
Sporting,
he was
no?
in Man City's academy, he was right back. At Sporting, he was playing
He was
wing
right wing back at
Bro,
Sporting.
where are you getting this from?
check it.
You weren't watching.
Bro, check it.
You weren't watching him
Bro,
at
check it.
Sporting, bro. I was watching him at Sporting, bro. I'm
Bro,
telling you.
Pedro Porro
He's playing
was a
right
10.
wing back. Man said 10 to right back. No chance.
He's a liability,
No
man.
chance. You're
Trust
talking
me,
about
bro.
Pedro Goncalves.
No, Pedro Porro. I'll show you
Someone,
now.
telling
people
you.
saying Matty Cash.
Matty Cash has been solid, but I'm sorry, Matty Cash, where has he been the past couple of weeks? He got injured now as well.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say mention Tommy Asu because I think he's brilliant, but he doesn't play enough games and he's been injured.
Yeah,
Same with Reece
man.
James. Reece
He's
James
been
injured.
good, yeah,
Ben
but
White height.
just obviously
Nah,
not.
there was no
Can't
need
just
to
say
say
that.
that.
No one said Ben White.
Crazy. That was
Can't
not a
just-
crazy statement. I'm sorry.
Can't just sneak it in.
But
though,
all
I
I'm
heard it,
saying
innit?
is January is a key time to add additions.
Yeah.
You can't tell me Pedro Porro has not been a quality addition.
That's where we lost the season
Remember
last
what
year.
we had before Porro?
Yeah.
Emerson Royale,
He's still
Doherty,
got- yeah.
Trippier. And this is not Trippier that you've got. I'm talking Kieran Trippier, the one you've had the past couple of weeks. That's the one we had permanently. Like, it's Aurier. Hey, man, streets won't forget what we've suffered.
Serge Aurier.
Pedro Porro, we give thanks to the All High.
I'm finding this thing where it says he was a number 10.
Nah, bro, find that
Look.
article.
He might have
Look,
played number 10 for a bit, but
Nah,
he was
find it. I
when they
can't
signed him,
wait.
he was known as a right wing back. To be
Said
fair,
Porro a 10. Porro's been a right back his whole career, man.
Nah, man,
From
I'm telling
City
you.
Academy days, he was playing right back. Then he went there, he was playing right wing back as part of a 5. They had Inacio, they had Coates, and they had Diomande.
Look, Porro, number 10, turned wing back, ignoring critics in Spurs' whirlwind.
but when was he? That's a headline. But when was
Is
he?
that a
10?
headline?
It's
You fell for a headline.
No.
They got you, you see?
No,
That's what-
bro.
That's what they
Ladies
call,
and gentlemen,
that's what they
bro,
call in the
I'm
We got him.
The hook.
I'm telling you,
They call
bro,
that the hook.
Porro was
Ladies
a
and
number
gentlemen.
10 before. I'm telling you this.
But even if he was, it don't make a difference. Even if he was, don't make a difference.
Of course not. But
No, what
like,
I think how he's looking at it immediately is this guy's not a defender. He's a midfielder gallivanting as a defender.
No, but
When
I've
in
seen
actual
him.
fact,
I've seen. Okay,
if you see the way he defends, this guy
this
is
season,
a
fine,
dog.
fine. He's been okay, but I feel like
He's been good. I don't like the term okay.
When he first came in to Spurs, bro, he was a liability, man. 100%.
Nah, do you see?
It was a liability.
Coming in, did you remember the Spurs defense that was last year?
Sure, it's sort of the same now.
Lloris, let me remind you, Eric Dyer, Ben Davis.
Playing now,
Yeah?
playing now.
What do you mean? None of those guys are playing now.
Ben-
Lloris is not
Ben
playing.
Davis is
Eric
playing.
Dyer's not playing.
Ben
Ben
Davis
Davis,
is
is only playing because Van de Ven is injured.
But still,
But none of
still
these
playing.
guys are meant to be starters. The quality is so bad, is what I'm telling you. So he's come into that, yeah. Then you're talking about Conte sinking ship, which, let's admit, second half of the season was basically a toxic place to be. Bro, you're walking into that, a new league, a new country, and a team that's in meltdown, and you're expecting him to show the best version of himself. I knew, even last season, I said he showed enough quality where I believe there's a player there. Defensively, you could ask questions, but this season, I feel like he's answered those questions. So, I don't know. I feel like you're being too harsh on Porro. Way too harsh.
Possibly, but I just still feel like you saying he's one of the best right
One of the
backs
best right backs in the Premier League this season.
is,
I don't find that hard to believe. But make that a poll in the chat if you can, production, please. Has Porro
Top five.
been
Top
a
five right backs
back
this season.
in the Premier League? Anybody who says no, I would like you to name the 5 better than him. Because you haven't been able to yet.
I've named 3. I think
You named 3?
Yeah.
So he's 4th.
I
So he's in the
put
top 5?
Cash in there and Kufal in there. I'm telling you, bro.
Nah, I
Cash and
couldn't.
Kufal.
Cash has more of a shot than Kufal.
Bro, Kufal's been good, you know.
Defensively.
Assad says
no.
Defo top 5. Curtis Killer says he is top 5.
Kufal's final ball
I know
is
he
top tier. It's top tier, bro.
Kufal's what?
Final ball. It's top tier.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
He's played every minute so far.
I
in
agree
the
with that
Prem
one.
Season.
That's
bro,
a huge stat.
it's been top tier, man. But so I feel like Powers, yes, he's gotten better. But
So if Kieran Trippier is injured and in January you have to sign a right back, you are signing Soufiane Kufal before you're signing.
I'm not signing Poro.
You're signing Kufal before
I
Porro.
love this.
I'm not signing
I
Porro.
love this.
Head of
Because the headline said he was a 10.
No.
But why?
Because of what I've seen from him, yeah, I feel like defensively he needs to improve.
Bro, if
I think-
you
I
watch
think-
him
I
this
think-
season,
I think
defensively he has been solid.
I think there's an argument that defensively he could improve, but still, as an overall right back, he's still better than Kufal.
Facts.
I'm not saying he's perfect.
Everyone
I'm not
in
saying
the
he's
comments
perfect,
agree as
but
well. Matthew Clinton says for sure top 5. Francis says even top 3. He is no question top 5.
someone said Walker, Trippier, Tomiyasu,
top
White,
5,
and Cash.
and I'm a Chelsea fan.
I'm an Arsenal fan. I like Tomiyasu. I think there's an overall player. Tomiyasu is a better right back than Porro. However, he hasn't played enough minutes with the injuries this season to make that claim. And Ben White, I think that Ben White and Porro are possibly
pulling on a shirt
on levels, but they're two different types of right backs. But I do like Ben White as well. Porro has more. Porro's quicker, so that's what saves him from a lot of
Porro's
situations.
passing ability is absurd. The types of passes he
doubting
can
that, to be
play, I swear to you, there's not many that can do it. There's not many.
Yeah, I think
The guy
I'd
has the potential to be a
have Reece James over
complete
him had he been fit this season, but he
Yeah.
hasn't. So
Reece James is one just.
Conor Gallagher's worn the armband more times than he
yeah,
has.
100%.
Captain Height.
He's tired.
Man's
man.
got more Instagram posts than minutes. Blood, it's long.
Nah, listen, coming towards the end of the first half in this game anyway, 5 minutes at a time in the Spurs game. We're in the we're in the last minute there anyway. 2-0 there at the moment. It's 0-0 still in the Fulham Burnley game. It's halftime there. Halftime at Luton Newcastle as well, 1-0. And Forest have been able to hold on with 10 men at the City Ground as well against Bournemouth. Still 0-0 over there as well.
Oh, man.
Boys, hopefully was hoping for a few more goals, but I can't complain with the.
Just going to take a look at this.
Officially halftime there as well.
Willy Bolly gets the second yellow card that leads to the red, or was it a straight red?
Honestly,
I think it's a straight red.
He got the ball first.
It's a straight red for this challenge.
red.
That's terrible.
That's a straight red.
That is
That's
awful.
the
No,
lies.
I think
That's
it's a second yellow. It showed
Can't
here.
be.
And second yellow?
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
showed as a second yellow because he got booked first there and then second
Cool.
yellow.
Okay, cool.
Red.
But yeah, that's the second yellow card.
But can't VAR look at that and say that's the wrong?
Not
I
if
think
it's
that's
a
a
second
wrong
yellow.
decision in my
Not
opinion.
if it's a second yellow. I'm pretty sure. Correct me in the chat. I'm pretty sure VAR is only for red cards and goal decisions.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's a madness.
And then also they would make the argument, even if it wasn't.
That's
This is what VAR do to get out of being held accountable. They say, because it was on the edge, it wasn't a clear and obvious error, and we only get involved if it's a clear and obvious error. And if it's open to, well, there you go. But
that's a madness.
There you go.
Because now that could cost them the game, and that's 100%. A big game as well for them. That's like a massive game, and that's crazy.
Yeah, if any of you guys get a chance to check that out, the Willy Bolly yellow card, second yellow.
It's a
disgrace. Go and take a look. It's
a disgrace. Well, listen, half time in.
You love my management, man. I know you
do. Listen, it's half time in all the games as well. We'll just run through those scorelines again. Of course, the earlier game at the London Stadium finished 2-0. West Ham winning there against United. Fulham 0-0 at home to Burnley. Newcastle behind at Kenilworth Road against Luton, where they're 1-0 up. Forest down to 10 men, but still drawing against Bournemouth, which could be an onslaught in the second half to come. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. And then Tottenham leading 2-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Richarlison and Son Heung-min giving him the lead, but Vicario having to pull off some big saves at the end there, it seemed like, as well. But can't be too upset with that scoreline at the moment, to be fair, but we'll see how the second half goes. Just had a super chat come in as well from Schnee in regards to that discussion we was having. He said, top 5 right backs at the moment. He says, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Pedro Porro, Kyle Walker, Trippier, Ben White. That's fair.
I'm not mad at that list.
Fair.
I'm not
this
mad at that
season
list
as well. I ain't mad at that one.
That's a
I ain't mad at that one.
That's big six bias to me, anyways. But or big club bias, because there's
he's got Trippier in there.
I know, big club bias. That's why I changed it from big six to big club. I changed it anyways to big club.
I like
you heard that anyways.
I like that.
So,
but
I hear it, innit? But
listen, we're nearly up to 500 likes on the stream as well. Smash that like button if you can for us as well. If you're enjoying the stream, we would appreciate that as well. Production, can I get a charger for this laptop as well, please? That would be very handy as well. Guys, make sure as well, Christmas Day, don't forget FCM Core. In case you haven't seen the trailer, I'm sure the guys in production will play it for you shortly as well. We are cooking up something very special. Christmas Day, you do not want to miss that one. FCM later on tonight as well. We will be having Turkish on this week as well as a special guest following the Liverpool-Arsenal game, which we'll discuss in the second half a little bit more as well, as the lineups do come out in that game, which should be a massive one. Potential title decided there, so make sure you are there for the reaction as well. I see XD in here in the chat as well, says, where's AGT? He is away this week, unfortunately. We all do need some breaks as well, you know what I'm saying? Need to give the man them some time off, and this is what I'm here for. We cover the drill. But listen, keep getting involved in the conversation. Keep liking the video. We've just passed 500 likes, so let's see if by the end of the stream we can end up on 1,000 as well. Guys, I want to ask you a few topical questions I've got here as well, actually. In terms of this season, we're nearly at the halfway stage now. Boxing Day, I think we should be at the halfway stage exactly. But so far this season, and get involved at home as well, because I'm curious to hear what you guys think. What has been the most entertaining game for you personally?
Ooh.
Because I feel like this season there have been quite a few.
There's been a lot still.
Yeah. But what would you say has kind of been your game this season that you really enjoyed watching?
I think,
even as a neutral, maybe.
I think it was the. It might have been the Chelsea Spurs Chelsea won the 4-1.
Yeah.
Or there was the Chelsea City game. Those two in that short period of time, everyone was like, the Premier League's going crazy because there was VAR calls, there was goals, there was comebacks. It was just a madness. So I think I'd go for the Chelsea City game, because the Chelsea Spurs game was obviously 10 men and it was 1-0 for a long time. So that City Chelsea game at Chelsea was.
You know which one I'm going for? North London derby. I can't lie. I always think the North London derby, it's almost like the most exciting game of the calendar. But this one really delivered. 2-2. You got goals. It was an unexpected result for Spurs, if you like, as well. I think Arsenal were kind of a little bit shocked by how we performed as well. It was everything you wanted in like a derby game. Both teams kind of left there a little bit disappointed in the end type of thing, and it kind of sets it up for the next one to be like, you know what, this is going to be a tasty one. And you got good goals in it. You could have Jesus when he could have almost doubled that lead in the moment where you thought, oh my god, this is it. And then we come back, it's It's a for me I would go for the North London derby.
I'd have Chelsea City or Arsenal United. Arsenal United. We beat them 3-1 at our ground. Late goal from Declan Rice. I think it's his first goal for the club, first competitive goal for the club. Yeah. I think for me, 2-1. It was tense, and then just put the ice on the cake late.
A lot of people saying the Chelsea City one as well. I can't lie. The 4-4, of course, loads of goals in that one as well. But yeah, I agree. But guys, as I said to you, FCM Court is on Monday, and we do have a clip for you and a trailer for you. Production, please roll the tapes. Where are these guys? Got caught in about 2 minutes.
Where you off to, mate?
Thought, mate, just really running late for this case.
Where the hell have you lot been? Do you know how late we are?
I think the bender, mate.
Mate, we've got 2 minutes until court starts. Listen, we got cases building up, we've got work to do. Let's go. Listen, Christmas Day, you do not want to miss that one. As we said to you guys when the FCM podcast came over here, we want to do things bigger and better, and that's what the guys at DR Sports allow us to do, and you do not want to miss this one. So make sure you're there. There will be loads of your favorite other content creators as well there. Some interesting cases. You know, we always have our fun, our FCM boys, man. So make sure you're there. Monday, that episode will be coming out. Do not miss it, trust me. But a few more people have actually sent a few suggestions in. Do you know what's another good one? The Liverpool v Fulham game. Do you know why I say that one? That one had so many world-class goals. From the Endo, there were screamers galore. McAllister's one was absolutely nuts.
Trent's goal. Trent's
goal, crazy.
Is that the game where Trent scored 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he scored the free kick and then he scored the one at the end there.
And I think that's the game where I think Fulham took the lead as well. Was it 3-2-1 or 3-2?
Yeah.
And then they had to come back.
Point, exactly,
so you had a bit of drama in that as well. So quite a few games. But yeah, I would say those three would probably be the three contenders. Liverpool v Fulham, I think in terms of entertainment and sheer goals. The North London derby in terms of kind of excitement and what the cost of the game is. But then the City... Chelsea won the 4-4 as a neutral, I think, was just like a hammer and tongue type game as well. So, good.
We've got like 580 votes in the poll.
Oh yeah. Snap! I didn't even see. Yeah. So about 10 minutes ago, we put out a poll saying, "Is Pedro Porro top 5 this season?" With 600 votes officially now. What do you think the percentages are?
I think it's in favour of Porro because of
60% say
because of
yes.
What? He's like smirking his face, like he's smirking.
Of course, because the people know, because the people recognise, they see.
It's Pedro. It's fair, innit? But form, it's based on form, so that's what it is, isn't it?
Form is temporary, class is permanent, as they say. So we will see how long it lasts. But yeah, I think he's a top player and can only get better in my opinion. So should be interesting to see. But second half still to come, guys. Make sure you check out FCM podcast later on as well. 7:30, we do have Turkish coming through. And then Christmas Day, as I said earlier, FCM Court. You do not want to miss that one. Ishmael here says, Fuad, please tell production to increase your gain. Hey, production are doing everything they can, brother. They do everything, trust me. And Dax Sport says, is that Adam Sandler? Yes, it is. We hired Adam Sandler for the trailer as well, believe it or not. Listen, I'm telling you, DR Sports, we don't cut no corners around here, brother. Yeah. Fatima actually posed a great question here. We talked about game of the season. Do you guys have any suggestions for worst game of the season?
We know the Arsenal City game. We know the Arsenal City game.
No, I think Go on.
The Arsenal City game was just ugly, and we're two teams that are known for playing very attractive football, and we
underwhelming.
But that's how we beat them.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to play attractive football, we just made the game so ugly and managed to scrape a 1-0, and it was a deflected goal and everything like that. It was an ugly game, but it's what it is.
I think for me it was not the worst game, but more disappointing. But I get why it was that way. Liverpool Man City at Etihad.
Liverpool Man City.
Yeah, because I feel like that was the 1-1 game, right? And that's the game that everyone looks at as to be excited and to be back and forth. But I just feel like because obviously Man City don't have the squad that they used to have, so Pep can't play in that aggressive way where where off the ball they're hunting down. And Klopp's learned from before where they had mad injuries that season where they just about made the top 4, I believe it was.
Yeah.
They struggled that season because of injury. So I believe now both managers have seen that, and then they've understood like we can't play like that throughout the season, playing in different competitions. So I feel like that's why that game was the way it was, and it wasn't the spectacle that we're used to.
Yeah. And
why I say that is because as a Newcastle fan watching Eddie Howe in this environment for the first time, I feel like he's playing in a way that would suit a team that's playing one game a week. When we're playing Champions League football, we're playing in League Cup and I'm playing Premier League week in, week out. I admire it, but it's the reason why we've got injuries.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, I think that City game against Liverpool was probably the most disappointing. But
I'd probably
there's reason
go
for it.
the United Liverpool game last week.
But that game wasn't. It wasn't boring though. Like it was. I think our game against City was even more boring. Like that game had more action. That game had more. Like Liverpool were having shots and stuff. It just didn't lead to any goals. Yeah. But our game, no one did anything. No one did anything, and there was less shots, less of everything.
I
feel like Liverpool v United though. For me, there was no clear-cut chances being created. That's you're saying shots, but it was like all block shots and desperate shots from the edge of the box. Soboslai just trying to hit a hammer, and United throwing 7 bodies at it. I was just like, what is it? United
from the two top like.
It was the nastiest park the bus job ever.
Well, somebody did say only one team came to win the game.
And listen, some games you do that, and if you leave there with the point at Anfield, you say, job well done. I'm going home happy.
Let's do it tonight.
But I'm like, brother, as a neutral trying to watch this, that was not enjoyable. Yeah. That was almost sufferable. And then I've got to go on a podcast afterwards and be like,
what a
top
game.
6, what a game. How should we break this one down? And I'm like, I want to rip eyeballs out.
It's tough because like, we're playing Liverpool an hour and a half, and if we play an ugly, boring game but get out of there 3 points, I know United got a point, but if we can get out there 3 points and make it an ugly, boring game, boy, that's just what it is.
If Arsenal go to Anfield and get the win, people will be saying, okay, cool, this could be Arsenal's season. Even this early there. Because obviously, like...
We never win.
People thought that last year, though. Didn't you go there last year and get a draw?
It was 2-0, wasn't it? And
then we bottled it.
So 2-2.
Yeah, we got a draw.
Yeah, you got a draw. But I remember that almost being, and because that was early in the season, in kind of like the first third, if you like. I remember,
and we should have won it.
You beat United before that as well, and it was almost like the result that gave them
the confidence.
We actually can be title challengers, you know. Yeah, I remember.
But maybe Anfield and Etihad, we lose or we drop points every season.
But last season, Arsenal played a different Liverpool. So I feel like this season we're seeing Liverpool, obviously top 2 Liverpool. Last season they were they're 5th or 6th in the league. So if you guys go there this season and get the 3 points, I would say because the competition for first is not the same as it was at the time. Because City were sort of chasing you guys down. Now I don't see City going on that run in March, February. We're winning 10 games in a row. I don't see it happening.
Ooh, famous last words. They do it every year.
I know.
Every single year.
The squad depth now is not the same, isn't it? So it's like...
Their squad depth is the same. They've got injuries.
No, but like...
They've got Rodri. They've had Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne out. So the players that would normally be like your Nunez
I'm talking about... Sorry, people just corrected me, actually. People were saying it's later in the season the 2-2 draw happened.
Yeah.
I was talking about the home win.
But that's at home. I feel it's crazy. Like at home, I feel like, especially because at home we beat City as well, and I know it's not the same City.
Stay vigilant.
At home, I don't fear Liverpool. They're a very good team, but I don't fear anyone at home. Like we can win, can win against anyone. Yeah. But that's home, innit? But away, boy, it's just this is something else. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's the Granit Xhaka flipping mess up where he started beefing and that. Do you know what I'm saying?
That was at Anfield, no?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At Anfield, it's just like there's always something. There's always something. But there you go.
But now keep your likes coming in as well. Almost up to 600. Still over 2,000 of you in here. Second halves will be kicking off shortly as well. And big up some of you lot as well. I see some interesting questions coming in. Someone here said, super chat from Renzo says, Leverkusen, biggest surprise team this season? And someone did ask that, who has been kind of your biggest surprise
Nah, bro,
team
listen, once
this
Leverkusen
year?
signed Granit Xhaka, yeah, obviously, man knew they were going to go on to do great things. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
But they also lost Diaby as well, so, you know, they've
Double-edged sword.
So they've done pretty well, to be fair, Leverkusen.
yeah, nah, of course, Leverkusen are just like and I think you guys have probably seen the clip of Mourinho predicting that Xavi Alonso was going to be like an unbelievable manager and all this kind of stuff. So just well schooled.
I've always said, I think players who are deep-lying playmakers or defensive midfielders tend to go on to become the best managers purely because of the position they play.
Yeah,
they just have to
understand the
almost
game.
be a brain within the pitch, you know what I mean? And a lot of times those players kind of go on to be captains because they're kind of long-serving players or whatever. But you always just find players who play in that position always just seem to have a better understanding of the game tactically as well.
That's why I want like Zidane to go back into management, because that he for me is the greatest midfielder or centre mid there is. Yeah. So, and obviously him winning with what he won at Madrid, those 3 Champions Leagues. I feel like he can go back into management and sort of still assert himself as a great player and also a great manager. But I just feel like he's just obviously chilling, he's cool with it. But you're right, those centre mids in their positions, they're the ones with the understanding and the brain to know like the tactical side of the game. So fair play to Xabi Alonso for doing what he's doing, but Bayern Munich will obviously chase them down, innit?
Yeah,
because they've got because that's just Bayern Munich. That's what they
Boys,
do.
we're into the second half.
Yeah, second halves have kicked off and there is a goal already at the Forest Stadium, or City Ground, sorry. Nick, who's it gone to?
My boy Anthony Elanga, man. I told you, lot, that
You did say.
that 3 that sits behind Chris Wood has so much talent. Anthony Elanga put Nottingham Forest 1-0 up.
And there is another goal as well elsewhere at Fulham as well. Burnley have gone 1-0 up away there with Wilson Odobert. Second half has kicked off
good though as well.
electric. I like this. 2 goals in 2 minutes.
And it's huge for
two
Forest.
different teams.
Huge for Forest, obviously, because they've got that red card against Willy Bolly, which is just a pure disgrace.
Yeah. But
there
that's
you
kind
go.
of what
Justice.
they'll need now, because now I imagine they'll do a backs to the wall job. And this
Yeah.
is obviously Nottingham Forest's first game without Steve Cooper, who, of course, was sacked
Of course,
midweek.
yeah.
So
Nuno's
this
come
is Nuno's come in. Nuno Espirito Santo. We all know what he's about, of course, Spurs fans. But he's back in the Premier League now. And is Nottingham Forest a good job for him to take? Because it's almost at that
100%.
Wolves level. You've almost kind of got the same level of resources he kind of had there as well. The ambition is probably the same, finish mid-table, but be a strong mid-table team. Is this almost like the ideal job for him?
Once he's gone to Saudi and managed, you're not even expecting him to come back to the Prem.
Yeah.
So for him to come back and get a decent job like that in the Premier League, and I think obviously everyone remembers him most recently for Spurs, but he was a very, very good manager at Wolves. You know, he had a lot of shock, upset wins, taking on the big boys. They do have some decent resources, and like you said, Nottingham Forest are a well-funded club. That could actually potentially be the downfall of him. He's probably one of those managers that works a little bit better with a slightly tighter budget than having almost too much money to go and spend. But yeah, no, it's good to see him back in the Premier League for sure. Experienced manager, and we'll see what he can do. You know, he's winning 1-0 right now with 10 men. So there you go.
Oi, doing the job there. Still same scoreline in the other games. Tottenham still 2-0 up. 6 minutes gone in that game as well.
Come on, Newcastle, bro.
And Newcastle still 1-0 down versus Luton.
There's a goal at Spurs.
Oh, we got to go.
Oh, here we go.
There's game on.
Here we go then. I did.
There's
Listen,
game on.
Fuad, you talk to us.
Okay,
Who
ladies
scored
and
the goal?
gentlemen. 6 is gone in the second half at the Tottenham Stadium, and Everton have scored 1, and it's Tottenham 2, Everton 1. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is on the score sheet.
It's Andre Gomez with the assist. Andre Gomez. Did he start? Or was
Andre
that a sub?
Gomez. I remember horror stories of the last time he played us. Met Son Heung-min. Broke his leg. Yikes. Out for a very long time. Son was very much hated in those corners of the world.
Yeah, he did. He didn't start. I thought he wasn't starting. Idrissa Gueye got. Andre Gomez got subbed on 24 minutes in for Gueye, and then
game on though,
got
isn't it?
the assist.
Game on, like
Yeah.
Game
2-0 to 2-1 change
is on now.
So now it's game 1.
This is definitely one Spurs now need to go and get a third. kill this game off. They cannot allow this to become a slogfest.
Everton weren't like fully dominated in that half as well. They were having some good chances and playing some decent football, but obviously,
Mate, looking at the stats right now, as much as possession we have, and I think we've dominated possession against most teams, 65 to 35%. Shots is 5 to 10 shots, with 6 on target for them, 4 on target for us. When you talk about big chances, we've had 2 big chances. They've had 3 and missed 2 of them. Yeah. So they could well be in this game long before the goal. And you saw at the end of the first half where Vicario pulled off some big saves as well. So listen, you can never rule out Sean Dyche's team, I'll tell you that much. But Richarlison, please.
It's another one.
Oh,
see again.
It's Ugo's boy that he wants to play for England.
I told you, bro. He's pulling out.
51st minute, we have a goal scorer.
2-0.
Oh, and we have a score correction too. It's Tottenham 2, Everton 0. Yeah, ain't no game on. Now, Bournemouth scored. Do you want to tell us the score, Luke?
Samargo in the chat said, even as a Spurs fan, I don't think that goal should be disallowed.
Dominic Solanke gets the goal for Bournemouth. Not in the first one, Bournemouth 1. I'm going to check now how many goals that is now this season for him. If it's updated anyways, he scored 8. So now that could be his 9th Premier League goal this season. And he's the second high. Oh, actually, no. He's behind Watkins and Bowen for English players. But yeah, man, I feel like as the third striker,
oh my God,
there's Wilson there, obviously.
So I'm just seeing a little highlight of the Everton goal that got disallowed, and basically Emerson Royale caught sleeping on the ball. I mean, Vicario plays him a little bit of a risky ball, which is kind of difficult to control, but at least try and go outside.
What is it called off for?
I think it might be called off for the foul on Emerson, I think, potentially.
Out.
Which,
I
mean, you can kind of call it a foul, but it is a soft one to give for sure.
Terrible.
Emerson there, I'm sorry. Hook that and get that out immediately. I don't know why you're trying to control that when you don't know what's behind you as well.
Dodgy.
It's risky. You're playing him out of position as it is. You
But-
don't need to be
but
putting
even-
yourself into more danger as it is.
Even at right back as well, mate. He's also a liability, mate.
Believe me, every Spurs fan knows this. He gives us these little purple patches where he almost pulls the wool over people's eyes. But hey, man, the truth will set you free. But still 2-0 now in that Tottenham game, and it's 1-1 in the Bournemouth-Nottingham Forest game as well. Forest, of course, down to 10 men, so now they've got to see it out for the next 40 minutes potentially. That is going to be a tough one.
Yep.
Luton still 1-0 up against Newcastle. Newcastle really need to find their gear in the second half.
Yep.
Fulham.
We tried to warn you, innit, but you didn't want to hear it.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I knew it would be a tough game, innit, because Luton. But after seeing, obviously, the 10 minutes that we saw of the game, we were second to the first, second balls.
Yeah.
Not playing our way, and I've seen it before. Like I get Bournemouth away, I see it against Wolves away. You know, away from home, you know, we're not great this season, and it's costing us, man. And if we lose this game today, people are gonna keep asking questions about Eddie Howe. People are gonna ask questions about Newcastle, because Luton is a game that we should be winning.
Is there a scenario where Eddie Howe does come into question this season potentially?
I don't
considering what he's done, yeah.
I don't want to hear anything. Even if we finish out Europe places, no, because we shouldn't even be where we were in the first place. We shouldn't even be in top 4. So he's earning some credit in the bank for when that time comes. And I don't think it's here yet. With the squad he has and the injuries that we have, and you know, we've picked up some big results this season. Beat Arsenal, beat Chelsea, beat Man United, PSG. You know, it's for me where we are is because of it's fine moments, fine margins in a Carabao Cup. We should have beaten Chelsea, but the mistake happened. So I don't believe he's been as bad as people, or it's been as bad as people are making it. But injuries, innit? But maybe what he needs to do is understand that where he's at now is different, and he might need to change the way we play. I like how we play, but just change it a little bit because we're getting injuries now. So maybe because Villa, West Ham, they all play Thursday, Sunday. So and they still have their squad, but they don't play as intense as we do. So probably that's what costing us. So you might have to look at that and say, okay, cool. Can I tweak this and make us save a bit more energy, but also be good on the ball and be the same threat? I don't know, but he's got time, man. He's got probably another year or 2 years. But obviously, once you achieve something, getting top 4, the owners they want more of it, you know. But it's not the same because we still got some players who were there before fighting relegation. So context is needed here, man.
Yeah. Do you think they stay kind of pressure free now that he's kind of got the Champions League? The way they've been kind of dumped out in the group stage, if they now let's say, as Zug says, finish 8th, no European football next season, is that seen as like a massive backward step, and you're kind of thinking, do we proceed with this guy, or is as he said, credit in the bank? He's done us so much work. He deserves at least a bit of time to kind of figure it out.
He's got some credit in the bank, and the Tonali situation is something that's completely out of his control. And that's one of the marquee signings. I think it's gonna be interesting to see what they do in January. They have a lot of money, but the more money that he spends, the more pressure he puts on himself. And so he's got to be quite smart with how he goes about the recruitment and how he goes about. It'd be interesting to see how you guys sell players, and if you can generate some good revenue from sales, then can you invest that money back in? Because like I say, if he goes out and spends 250, 300 million in the summer, that's going to create a big amount. With no European football, that will then be an expectation that this guy, that top four's got to happen next season. Again, Champions League is similar to Arteta, where it was always like he was close. He was close to top 4, but not quite. He was close to a title, but not quite. But there's only so far that you can go with not quite, and then they're going to go, right, we're going to bring someone else in that can actually get us over the line. Like I said, the Tonali situation is not in his control. The Champions League, you guys had like one of the groups of death that people were like, this group's a really, really tough group. And like you say, it was fine margins. It was very, very close, and it came down to the last day. But that's not how the board will look at it. The board will look at it as actually there are managers that can get us over the line. But it's all going to come down to how much he spends. Because though you guys have the big money, he hasn't actually spent huge amounts of money yet. So then when he does spend on someone like a Tonali, he really doesn't need things like this situation that he's got now.
Do you think he needs that, like a window to really splurge? Because it's almost felt like that since he has come in. Is every window has been a sensible one. I think Isaac was like a big money signing that at the moment you thought, okay, this could be the big marquee one. But outside of him and Tonali, maybe you haven't felt like, when the takeover initially happened, everybody, I'm sure, thought the Avengers, they were saying Neymar's going to come and Mbappe maybe.
Yeah, said Mbappe is good,
and of course, maybe not those types of names, but players who are really going to push that needle a little bit more. Are you hoping for one or two of those in January, or do you think that's a bit too far-fetched?
I think it should have happened in the summer, because the season you get Champions League, that's the season where you've got the biggest pool, like, to bring players into the club. It didn't happen. We brought in Tonali, we brought in Harvey Barnes, and a few other other squad players, Livramento, Lewis Hall on loan.
Anthony Gordon.
He came
from before.
He came in January.
Okay.
So we didn't really improve the starting 11. I wanted us to go out there and say bring in like 4 Bruno. So when we signed Tonali from AC Milan, I thought, cool, this is number one.
First of one.
First of one. So we needed that in probably left back positions, a winger in that position, so like a Diaby, which we couldn't get. But it's all due to finances, and Eddie Howe hasn't seen the full potential as to how much we can spend. You know, we've had to settle for certain players and sell some maximum to generate funds. We don't have anybody else that we can make money off. All the other squad players, and Will Craft and Matt Ritchie, Paul Dammit, they're not going to go for no money. So we've got to build a revenue.
2-1 Dominic Solanke. Sorry to cut you. 2-1 Dominic Solanke. Bournemouth go up, and I think there's an offside check here for an Alexander Isak goal to potentially make it 1-1. But they're looking at it at the moment.
This is what we like to see, ladies and gentlemen. Entertainment.
Solanke again, number 10 goals now this season.
Hey, double figures now. Is that England call up far away from him? Listen, that is crucial as well, because I said the second half is going to be pretty much an onslaught for Nottingham Forest. Going down to 10 men, they actually done well to kind of not concede anything in the first half. But now Bournemouth are just going to send wave after wave, especially after conceding the first goal with the Alanga one. Now they've taken the lead. Nuno Espirito Santo, please rise. Please rise. And VAR still checking the goal at Newcastle as well.
Come on.
Is that potentially equalising at Kenilworth Road as well? I'm sure Newcastle fans will be delighted if that happens. But will the VAR decision give it?
And Isak not been on. When did Isak get subbed on? Oh no, he got subbed on in the first half. To be fair.
Oh, did he? For who?
For Miley.
That means that's the injury then.
And Lascelles went off for Botman.
Yeah, both injured then.
Botman, to be fair, has been sitting on the bench for the past couple of games, almost just in case one of the boys go down, he can come back in. But
no, to be fair, he played against Fulham. He came on off the bench against Fulham. That was the first game, and then he played against the Chelsea Carabao Cup. I think he played 9 minutes.
No goal.
That's no goal.
No goal. Still 1-0 to Luton Town at Kenilworth Road, hoping they can cling on to that during the second half. Another 3 points would be massive for their survival hopes. One of which, nobody really gave them a chance of. But as the season goes on, you look at the table, and if Forest don't win today, they're on 14 points. Luton Town on 12, having an extra game in hand as well. Burnley on 11 and Sheffield on 9, having all played 18 as well, both of them. I mean, it's not as cut and dry as people would make it out to be. I know everybody at the start of the season was talking about those 3 teams definitely cut off and they're not good enough, but I feel like Luton have adapted week on week pretty well and have been able to pull out results. Burnley the past couple of weeks have been able to show some kind of life under company, but I think, in my opinion, they're ultimately doomed. I think Sheffield United similarly are doomed, but will probably make a better fight of it under Wilder. I don't know if it'll be enough to keep them up.
Yeah, I think
question will be is who gets dragged into that.
That's what I was just going to say. No, I think the only team that looks like for me is going to get dragged in is Forest. Everton have enough. Palace have enough. Wolves.
I don't know. I think Palace could potentially. Palace, I don't know if the goals are there as consistent with Mateta, Edouard. Those guys, Ayew, they have capable of popping up with like 2 goals here, a goal here and there, but consistently relying on him. I know Elise coming back has been massive. Eze coming back as well. But I worry if Hodgson last season coming in was almost like that bit of reinvigoration of going back to the thing they know and trust, but I don't know. -8 goal difference. I'm looking at them as potentially they could be ones that could be drawn in.
It's Forest, isn't it? Forest are the ones with the lowest goal difference outside the top 3. They're on -14. So it looks like it could be a straight shootout between Forest and Luton for me. On those points, on that goal difference.
Yeah.
I think it's tough. Palace, they don't really have that many goal scorers, but then they're still on. It's -8. It's not as bad. Wolves are on -8. Bournemouth are on -8. Man United are on -5. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's that bottom 4. 3 for me as it stands right now. 3 of the bottom 4 are going.
Yeah.
Looking at that bottom half, if you looked more at the top half, would you say any of your predictions have changed from start of the season in terms of top 4, top 6? Get involved at home as well, because I'm curious to see what you guys, because I'm sure
Villa
at the start of the
City.
season, like I had Chelsea to potentially get a Champions League place. I thought Pochettino, get a young core. Maybe this season they will have settled a little bit better. I thought if there's going to be 5 Champions League places, Chelsea will be competing with Newcastle, and if we could somehow pull our house together, we might be in and around it. But I didn't think we would be competing for the Champions League as we are now.
I think for me, looking at the top half of the table, changed? Aston Villa overperforming. Spurs, I thought top 4, top 6, somewhere maybe top 6. They're slightly overperforming. Obviously, West Ham, I think in 6th are a real big shock that are not kind of going under the radar a little bit. West Ham. And obviously Man City and United and Newcastle. Man City, Newcastle and Manchester United for me all underperforming in 5th, 7th and 8th respectively. I think we all expected them to do a little bit better than that, but obviously it's halfway through the season. So,
I agree. I think at the start of the season I said Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, or not in any order, but that was the top 3. So Villa's come in and they've been the surprise package. I said that they were overrated before because we beat them 5-0, I think 5-1, 5-0. First game of the season, and then obviously the Spurs, I did see them being where they are, but Man City being 5th for me is obviously them missing De Bruyne since early in the season. You still wouldn't have them there. West Ham, Newcastle, Man United, Brighton, I believe that was going to be the same, but it was just about who finishes where. So that little batch there for me is the same, and then obviously Chelsea.
Brighton might be a slight underachiever, slightly like they're kind of where they should be, but maybe they're where they should be. They're not overachieving, and obviously Brighton are a team every season we go outside the top 6. They're one of the bogey teams, and they're not really haven't quite been there.
I always felt like with them and Newcastle that Europe would play a part in their seasons this year and potentially disrupt their rhythms, really stretch their kind of squads, and you've seen it. It has Burnley. Impacted it. 2-0 Burnley, and it's Sander Berge in the 66th minute, who of course was signed from Sheffield, which is a promotion rival at the time, but coming in clutch today, away at Fulham, leading 2-0. Honestly, I think that might be Burnley's second away win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. The earlier one coming against Luton Town, and then I believe
another relegation team.
Yeah, I believe they won in the League Cup the week before that as well.
Big results so far. If they can pull it off 2-0 or get away against Fulham, Fulham's won the last 2 home games 5-0, both. So to now go there and get the win for company, it will be massive for him.
Speaking
By
of
the way,
away games,
that Bolton game you was talking about earlier, that they were winning 3-0. Leighton Orient have pulled it back 3-2. We could be seeing something for the last 25 minutes there as well, potentially. Keep an eye on that over there. Still 0-0 in the La Liga game as well. Oh, sorry, no. Atletico have just taken the lead 1-0 against Sevilla. Let me see.
You guys are speaking about away form as well. You're talking about Burnley. I've seen the stat.
Llorente.
Manchester United have not won any away games against any of the top 9.
Yeah, I see that,
so far this season.
Nasty.
But I think Ten Hag's record against the top 9 goes back until last season as well. I think he's not won the game, or against a team that's in the top 9. And it's, I think he's got one draw.
And the team that's 10th is Chelsea. So that's the only. that's. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like super underperformers, but. And then actually they lost that, and then the team that's 11th is Bournemouth, and they beat them 3-0. Albeit that was that.
That's crazy.
That was at their ground. So anyone in the top 11 outside of Chelsea is looking like they're struggling to beat.
Really underwhelming at points this season, United, and could end up blowing up in their faces at some point. Of course, if we had to look at some of the players that have been signed this season. We had kind of like a brief discussion off air before we kind of started the show, but who would you say, and in the chat as well, I actually want to hear you guys list your top three signings of this season. I'm curious to hear because I feel like there's been quite a few. I think obviously Declan Rice you could look at as a leader of maybe being in the number 1 position. James Maddison, Ward-Prowse. I feel like Edson Alvarez has been a real sleeper pick. Mohamed Kudus. Aston Villa have had a few signings that have done really well for them as well. Diaby coming in has been really exciting for them. Pau Torres has come in and looked exactly how some Villa fans thought he would, but I didn't for sure. But he's
a couple of seasons ago, he's linked to going United on him.
He's linked to us as well, and I remember he rejected us because we didn't have Champions League football, and I said, all right, say no more. I got my eye on you, brother. Agendas begin. That's how they all begin, innit? Man rejects your club, and then it's like, it's on. But now, who would you guys say are your top 3 signings? And let's even have like a discussion
in terms of impact for the season.
Cole Palmer. Yeah,
I think.
Go on. I was going to say one we've got at the moment against your team, Ross Barkley.
Free
transfer to Luton.
I like that one.
Do you know what?
Are you saying that's what your third place? I'm trying to hear your.
Deckers is going top.
You're saying Declan Rice is number 1 gridlocked for you.
Yeah.
There's
because
no discussion of maybe
what it is?
Vicario who came in for 17 million.
Do what it is? We'll do all the other semantics afterwards of pound for pound and money and all the rest of it. We'll do all of that. And Vicario's great. I like him. He's a good guy. But for me, £100 million is a lot of money. But Declan Rice is either the man of the match or borderline man of the match in every single game. Even the games we lose. He's just an outstanding force and an outstanding performance every single game, even when we lose. Yeah, that is, obviously Vicario, he's a goalkeeper, so it's a little bit difficult for him to be man of the match and get the headlines like that. Declan Rice is centre mid, but I think, I would have maybe Cole Palmer in there. I would have Vicario for £17 million is really good. How much did you spend on James Maddison?
40.
He's injured though.
Well, technically 30 because we sent Harry Winks for 10 million that way.
No, that's not how it works.
If you do the balance sheet.
Can I do the balance sheet for Declan Rice then?
10, what balance sheet?
Can I just
105 mil. You should have paid 200 mil. By the way, you're sounding.
That's a great signing. Then. Pound for pound, that's a great signing. We've got a 200 million
by your words.
But no, there's been some good signings, man. Yeah, I think Ross Barkley, Cole Palmer. Did Sterling go Chelsea this season?
No,
last season.
Yeah.
Vicario.
You would have had maybe Sterling in that discussion if he was this season.
He's one of the more consistent performers in this horrible Chelsea team. But I think maybe Cole Palmer.
Ward-Prowse? What would you say?
I'd have to agree with Rice. Declan Rice.
Yeah.
even though he came for such large money, but he's come in there and he's slotted in perfectly. You know, he's showing a different side to his game as well. People saying that he was doing that at West Ham, but Arteta was playing him in like an 8 sometimes too, and
he plays 2 positions. Yeah, exactly. He covers 2 positions.
You like forced him that, but yeah.
But he can do it though. It's great. It's great
I said, I can't lie. I'm of that mindset of, bro, he's doing exactly what he was doing at West Ham, except now he's in a shinier kit and a bigger stadium.
That is harder.
And guess what? He has to step up when he does that.
Yeah.
Because we've seen players when the kit gets heavier and the stadium gets bigger.
Look at Jadon Sancho.
And he's stepped up even more. So I think that's where, from a mentality aspect, I've been even more impressed where
he's future
nothing
England captain.
phases him, bro. Like the way he's just moved Partey out of the side, this is my midfield now. People are talking about he's already captaincy. I'm like, you know what? I hear it.
Future England captain.
I hear it.
Like people were saying like, oh, it's really exciting and Partey could be back from injury, blah blah blah. And some of our fans are like, bro,
Bellingham.
He's not.
Chill.
What's that? Captain?
Yeah.
No, but Bellingham's a maestro. You just let him perform. Just let him be free.
Bellingham is our man material.
Just let him be free.
I think
After Kane, it's Bellingham.
No,
I'm telling you.
I think Rice has the age.
He definitely
He has the age experience.
He'll be vice captain.
European champion as well.
I mean, I hate that. You know, I hate that when West Ham fans say that. You know,
Is he not European champion? You're a nasty.
Wait, so
you remember in EastEnders they used to have Nasty Nick? It was you all along.
Wait. So
Nasty Nick.
Are Plymouth here? Are Plymouth champions of England?
What do you mean?
Are Plymouth who won League One? Yeah, they won the League One.
Yep.
So it's like them saying that they're champions of England because they won.
They're league winners. They're title winners. Yeah. They're English title winners. They've won a title in England.
No.
They're English title winners. They're English title. That's what you asked me.
So your three you've gone for are.
I'll go Rice. I'm not putting the Chelsea player in there. I just can't do it. Vicario. I'll go Ross Barkley.
Mine is Rice. Kudos because of the money he came for.
Kudos, good shout.
You know the way he played at Ajax in Champions League previously. Ghana. So Kudos coming for 30 million or 40 million, whatever it was.
Yeah. 37, I think.
And I would put Maddison in there because of he's coming straight away. Yes, he's injured, but when he's played for Spurs, he's probably the reason why Spurs started off.
It's only because he's injured that I'm not putting him in there. By the way,
for me, I think in terms of similar like you're saying with Rice. Maddison has been man of the match almost every single game he's played for us. Like the show runs through him. I would have him third, Vicario second, and Declan Rice first.
The only reason
I know
Vicario
people will
over
probably
him,
say a little bit biased or whatever because of the Spurs or whatever. I think Sobo deserves a mention.
But
we're
seeing
Sob's
Tottenham win games without James Maddison.
And it's the creativity is not there, bruv. I'm telling you.
We're winning 2-0.
Yeah, I know we're winning 2-0. But if you actually watch the games, we're not flowing and ticking the same way.
I'm just saying the reason I put Vicario over that. If you take Vicario out, you lot might not win games. Period.
No, I fully agree. But if anything, this says to me though the good coaching of Ange that you can lose big key players like that and still be able to score goals, still be able to.
I think Ange is a very, very good manager, very, very good coach.
So you have to give him. Someone says here Timber would have been there, but his injury.
It's too early to say. Like Timber for me is like the guy I'm most looking forward to coming back in the second part of the season. In pre-season he was insane, but obviously we haven't seen him play competitive football yet. So I know about signing of the season. I don't know. There's too many too many unknown variables to throw that name out there. But second half of the season when he comes back, I've never been so gassed for a left back. He's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? He's so good. If he's fully fit, I'll throw him in the shout next season. I think he could be left back of the one of the best left backs in the season.
Left back, bro. He's a right back.
He does everything.
Try to do this false left back thing.
Don't matter. He's played left back for us for all the games that I've watched him. So.
He never played there for Ajax.
Don't matter, bro.
Force it, man.
and Ten Hag looked good at Ajax. This ain't Ajax.
They used to love Zinchenko.
This ain't Ajax.
But they're so quick to want to get out of him.
Because I want Zinchenko in the midfield. I want Zinchenko in the midfield.
I'm watching Arsenal, man.
Say no more.
I swear. Every day now they're asking for Tomiyasu at left back. They're like, yo, I can't wait for that. What happened to Zinni?
Listen, when you've got multiple, I don't know why you're doing Kermit the Frog, but when you've got multiple world-class players, do you know what I mean? You know, multiple. He's got four Premier Leagues. You know, you need him for that experience.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, do you know what I mean?
Nah, some great shouts coming in. Vargas says his 3 picks would be Maddison first, Rice second, and Kudus third.
Yeah, same. We're not the same, but yeah.
Jordan Wall says his number 1 pick would be Højlund, his number 2 pick would be Andre Onana, and his number 3 pick would be Amrabat. 3 guesses for who he supports.
You stay there, man. Long live them, man. I hope that you have them, man, for a very, very long time.
For a long time.
You know what I'm saying?
Crackers says Japanese Iniesta Endo is his.
I've
Iniesta
not
is
seen,
outrageous.
as in, I've not seen him play as much minutes at Liverpool, but he's been okay. He's come in and done his job, but still early. The
bear
team's
with
out by
me
the way.
as well. The lineups are out for the Liverpool Arsenal game. Today, and Liverpool in goal. They have Alisson, right back Trent Alexander-Arnold, centre back pairing of Konate and Virgil van Dijk. Left back it's Tsimikas continuing that. Szoboszlai, Endo, and Curtis Jones starting today as well after a brilliant performance midweek against West Ham. Mo Salah on the right, Cody Gakpo through the middle, which means Darwin Núñez is dropped. Despite playing on the left midweek, it's Luis Diaz this week. Nick, do you want to read us through the Arsenal team?
Yeah, you got David Raya in goal. No surprise there. Back four, Zinchenko, Gabriel Saliba, Ben White. Midfield, Havertz, Rice, Ødegaard, and up front, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus.
What's your feeling going into that and looking at that side? Havertz starting again in that midfield?
Very nervous. I actually think that Havertz has got a good eye for goal. I think if we can use him the right way, he can occupy a lot of that space. If he pushes up high and we go long balls to Havertz and he knocks it down for Jesus, he can occupy Van Dijk and Konate, because Van Dijk gets a lot of slander, but he's still that guy. Let's be real. I think that their left side with Tsimikas and Jones is probably where we're going to get some joy from attacking. So it's going to be a big game for Saka. One-on-one, if we can isolate Trent one-on-one against Martinelli, even when we lose, Martinelli cooks Trent every single time we face them. So 2-2, by the way, in Forest
game,
versus
by the way.
Bournemouth.
Forest getting a second goal.
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood scored a header.
Chris Wood.
Guess
Last
that
of
was
a dying breed.
One of his 5 goals this
Assisted
season.
by Morgan Gibbs White.
But yeah, I'm never overly confident, but I feel like we might dominate the ball, but they've got so much pace on the counter, and we don't really. Our back four at the moment is really lacking in pace. We have some good technical players in there, but we really lack pace. Saliba's probably our quickest of our back four, and it's not really a great sign when your centre back is the fastest person in your defence. But yeah, man, let's have it, man. Let's have it. I want at least a point.
Anfield away.
Let's
This
have
is
it.
going to be a big one. 5:30, that one kicks off. And honestly, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Liverpool attack today. Liverpool being at home.
Could Forest be in? Oh no.
No, Liverpool being at home today. I think Gakpo scored midweek, but was on a little bit of a drought before that. Luis Diaz similarly hasn't had the most kind of fruitful start to the season, if you like. Of course, he's had family issues play a part as well. Mo Salah's actually been brilliant on that right, but in terms of goal contribution, he's been amazing. I'm looking at those three and thinking, you're coming up against arguably the best defence in the league, and the way they've been performing as well, Saliba and Gabriel, like two machines. Can you own them today in your home ground? This is a real almost like challenge to them, if you like, and they're more than capable of it. But Curtis Jones behind, Szoboszlai behind as well.
We should dominate that midfield.
You have to, yeah.
That's going to be the game for us.
Yeah, facts.
We need to dominate that midfield 100%. That midfield, they're good players, no disrespect. Curtis Jones is talented. Szoboszlai is probably like, the top player in that midfield. But Endo and Curtis Jones, we should definitely be doing a job against them. And for me, it's one of them ones.
Don't rule out Endo, though. Endo's been slowly improving over the past couple of weeks. I know he got dragged off on the weekend or midweek, was it, where he wasn't having the best of games. But I think over the past couple of weeks, he's actually kind of adapted to Liverpool. That Fulham goal was incredible as well.
I think that we just have to be very sensible with how we invert. We don't want to leap, especially with Salah. Salah's got so much pace up against Zinchenko. He's going to be licking his lips, running at Zinchenko.
Yeah, I agree.
And if Zinchenko goes to invert and leaves Gabriel on his own, that's going to be all types of problems.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm looking at the bench as well, because I think it could come down to benches. I know they've got Núñez that can come off the bench and be a problem, but
Harvey Elliott's been incredible.
Harvey Elliott as well.
Yeah.
We've got Leandro Trossard, who's just a shooter. Late on, last 20 minutes, just an outright off the bench, straight shooter. And I think the issue that I have going into this game is that their squad is overall probably better than ours, especially in the attacking department.
Yeah.
The attacking threats they've got on the bench as well with Nunes coming off the bench. They've got Nunes.
I mean,
we've got
Nunes is the
Trossard.
only one, to be fair. Like, when you look at their bench, you're seeing names like Conor Bradley, Bobby Clark, James McConnell, I mean, Jarrell Kwanzaa. So it's
Ryan
not like
Bradford,
they've got the most stacked. If anything, dare I say, you've probably got a more stacked bench because you've got Smith Rowe, you've got Jorginho who can control the tempo of a game, Trossard, Reece Nelson, who over the past couple of weeks has really added a bit of.
You know, I call for Reece Nelson every week.
Bro. Eddie Nketiah. So if anything, I'd say you have the more attacking.
So we have to manage this game really, really well and really, really smartly. If we're going to bear that in mind, that we've got attacking threats that can come on late on and run against maybe tired legs and different things like that. But it's going to be such a tactical game. Both teams. I think we are also probably the edge that I'd give us is that we have a more stacked squad and that we're probably more tactically flexible.
And there's more pressure on Liverpool to win this game.
Yeah, but they've been there and done this, right? So we've got no win in 10 or no win in 11 against them at Anfield and stuff like that. So like that's what they've got in their favour is that they're Spurs. Everton again, a goal for Everton again.
Final 10 minutes of the games now, and we're entering what you call.
It should really be. Remember, Ugo. It should really be 2-2.
Hey!
It should really be 2-2.
Put that finger down, yeah. It should be 2-0. Yeah, goal disallowed, Emerson foul, but it seems like Everton have finally gotten the scoreboard now, and it
Andre Gomez
seems to be given. Andre Gomez in the 82nd minute.
Should have a goal and an assist
About
right
8
now.
minutes of normal time left. Can Spurs hold on, or is this going to be one of those days? But alas, we shall see.
Just watching the goal now.
Comments coming in as well. FT Clip says Havertz in midfield at Anfield. Don't joke with that one. Havertz has been playing very well and is back to his best, says Simon. He was lucky not to get sent off against United. Klopp did well with benching him from the start. I think he might be talking about Nunes there. Fatima again says Endo was hooked at halftime against Crystal Palace, but since then he's been good. Simon also says Endo has been a great player for Liverpool midfield. He was their best player for the past few games.
Oh, good goal. That's a great goal for Andre Gomez.
Yeah, Everton are not out of this. They are not out of this at all.
It's a little bit unsettling, that one, I've got to say. It's never comfortable. From a set piece as well. Corner gets whipped in. We win the first one, but
that's a great
just
strike.
Slow getting out to that second.
That's a good strike.
Fair play. Sometimes you just concede a good goal.
It's difficult for the keeper. It's coming through so many bodies.
You're never going to see that. Low and hard.
Is it coming through so many bodies though?
No, it's not really. It's just through skip. There's a lot of bodies in front of him, but the shot is quite
it all
clear.
just parts ways.
Yeah, it's through skip.
Goal.
It's through skip though. He's going to see that late.
Oi, less of that, Daichi. Arms down, yeah? Come on. Listen.
Everton rise! Everton rise!
That's gonna spook me, bro. I don't
remember that. Everton rise!
Colour. Let's see this out now. And it's a 1-1. And the Watford game as well. They have equalised against Blackburn at Ewood Park. Oh man, loads of action today. Everywhere is popping off. 2-0 earlier, as we said. West Ham United. Burnley 2-0 leading in the 85th minute against Fulham. What has happened over there today? Marco Silva will not be happy with that one. Luton still leading 1-0 against Newcastle. I think you want to face front, yeah? Before you worry about Everton rising, yeah? And Forest, 10 men Forest are still drawing 2-2. Despite going down to 10 men in the 23rd minute with Will Bolly obviously getting sent off for what seemed like a very soft slide tackle. But Anthony Elanga giving the lead, Dominic Solanke with a double, and Chris Wood equalising on the 75th minute. And Spurs hanging on for dear life in the last 7 minutes here. Oh my God, bullied off the ball a little bit too easily there. What is going on? They are at 6s and 7s at the back. Oh my God, Jack Harrison Vicario pulls off a brilliant save.
Second at best signing of the season.
This is why that's my signing of the season.
Also,
is that Danjuma?
Yeah, Danjuma still.
We know you, brother. Don't you dare, yeah? Don't do this now where he's been sitting on bench all season, but now
he's trying to prove himself.
Oh yeah, remember you didn't want to play me last year.
He's trying to prove himself.
Oh yeah,
100%.
hold this.
100%. Someone made a comment before about Havertz against Liverpool, saying like, Havertz against Liverpool. So I checked his stats, his results
Oh my God.
against Liverpool, and Tottenham looking very, very shaky. The last 4 times he's played Liverpool in the league, they've all been draws. 0-0, 0-0, 2-2, 1-1. He's actually played them 6 times, got 1 loss when Liverpool beat Chelsea at home at Chelsea 2-0. Then he's got 1 win, that was at Anfield when Chelsea beat Liverpool 1-0, and then the other 4 times have all been draws. And he's lost an FA Cup and EFL Cup as well, both on pens. So it's been close games when he's...
What are you saying? There's hope with Have.
Come on, man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man.
Hey, what are you going for prediction-wise in that scoreline? Let us know your predictions in the comments as well. Johnny Donuts, regular in
Johnny Donuts.
Big him up. He says 1-5 to Arsenal.
Yes, Johnny Donut. I knew it was going to be before. This man
I need
John
some
my
of
guy,
what you're
man.
smoking. Yeah, because...
to Arsenal.
Gone. I want to hear your prediction now. After hearing Johnny Donuts, he said about it. Where you going?
You know what? I'll take a humble 2-2. I'll take a humble 2-2.
Yeah.
I think it's.
What would you say?
I think
I want VAR cameras covering every angle of the pitch.
Give me goal
I want
scorers.
every angle of the pitch. Martinelli, Martinelli and Ødegaard goals. Saka assist. Declan Rice assist. Declan Rice. I want the whole pitch covered, bruv. Man ain't trying to hear, we're not covering that angle. No, bro. I don't want to hear that.
It's not this victim talk, man.
Arsenal
fans walking around like
Man said
so soppy, bro.
Man,
I
talking
love
about
it,
fine
man.
margins there, but in the Champions League a second ago.
Listen,
to push me.
they said they've explained that
on the
reason, innit? That's fine. But
Exactly. Play on.
just keep it moving, man. Stop going back to that stuff, man. Victim
You
talk,
brought it
man.
up. I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up. I was talking about Liverpool.
VR cameras,
don't kill me.
but for me personally, I think it's going to be a battle of
Hey,
the
this is getting
the
nervy.
midfield, man.
I wasn't even talking about the Joe. When I said VAR, just like Liverpool have had VAR things against Spurs. We all have a couple of times, but there's been things with Liverpool games, even when they're on the receiving end, where they've said, the camera wasn't covering that side of the pitch or whatever. So I'm just saying, just in general, I wasn't even talking about you, man. Do you know what I'm saying? You man didn't make it through your group. I'm not even thinking about you.
Don't get insecure now. Don't get insecure.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Just
see,
saying, the midfield
Arsenal
battle.
fans, yeah.
The midfield battle.
I feel like
Ooh.
Arsenal have the advantage in midfield
Poro, close your legs.
because obviously they've got. I don't know. I think they've got a more stable midfield, but Liverpool being at home, there's battles. I feel like Salah can get joy on his side, and Diaz can get joy too. So I feel like it's going to be 1-1. Liverpool to score first. But like I said, there's more pressure on Liverpool because of what Klopp said in the media about that Anfield crowd. So people are going to look at that, and if it goes 0-0 for a long time, people are going to look at the crowd and think they're a bit nervous here, and that might help Arsenal out. So that's why I say there's more pressure on Liverpool because of what Klopp said. And if it goes, like I said, 0-0 for time, then it could be nervous times for Liverpool. But for me, it's going to be 1-0. I think Salah's going to score, and Saka will score.
1-0.
1-0.
You're going.
What about you?
I'm gonna go 3-1 Liverpool. I think this is gonna be one of those Salah games. Let's see Zinchenko.
Yeah.
It's tight. Yeah, I'm so worried about our fullbacks. Not gonna lie.
A Salah double and a Szoboszlai belt.
Oh my
That's what I'm
days.
going for. Or a potential Van Dijk set piece.
Or Trent something. Trent might
Trent
come through
whipping
too.
it.
Never
Van
know.
Dijk header. Saliba getting mushed. I will love it. And I think I deserve. Yes. But, yes, 3 minutes left of normal time in the other fixtures. Spurs still clinging on. It seems like Everton have really woken up these past couple of minutes. 11 players behind the ball for Spurs, it seems like, and Everton are just launching them in. Hopefully we can hold out there. But Burnley in added time, still 2-0 up. Newcastle still behind against Luton today. Another frustrating result for them. Forest drawing 2-2, which I'm sure Nuno Espirito Santo will take some credit from this, being down to 10 men for majority of the game. Elsewhere in the Championship, Watford have actually turned that game around where they went 1-0 down to Blackburn at Ewood Park to 2-1 winners now in additional time there as well. Southampton down to 10 men but leading against QPR as well. Crazy storylines there. Sunderland 3-0 behind at home as well elsewhere. And in La Liga, we have Atletico Madrid 15 minutes to go in that game, 1-0 up against Sevilla as well. Hopefully we get some calmer in this game to see us out.
Everton rise. Come on,
Everton are throwing everything forward at this point, and that is a lovely bit of tackling there. He's offside. See it out. Wonderful. Guys, get the likes up as well. We are up to 650, over 1,600 of you
Dan
still
Juma
here
equaliser
as
would just be
well.
so-
If you
so
could
sweet.
smash the like button, we would really appreciate that. FCM Court on Monday as well. Do not forget that. That is something you do not want to miss. Everyone is involved in that one, and that is going to be a special one, especially considering some of the results this week. Going to be a little bit more tastier, eh? But also 7:30 FCM podcast, myself, Culture Cams, and Mayawar will be joined by Turkish. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn your notifications on, and you'll join us for all the latest fun. I know we normally bring it to you on a Sunday, but we thought, hey, with all this many games happening today, why not do it today? So join us after the Liverpool-Arsenal game, which should be fun as well. Kicking off 5:30, that one. Let me read through some of the predictions that have been sent for that one. Johnny Donuts, of course, said 5-1 to the Arsenal. Tom Dredd says 3-2 to Arsenal. Mustafa says 3-1 to Arsenal.
Arsenal fans,
Quite a lot of Arsenal wins
Arsenal
here.
fans
I'm like,
in the comments. That's why.
Do you know what it is, though, bro? You know,
says
let
2-1
me not say that.
Arsenal.
Let me not say that.
Go say it, man.
Nah,
Go
it's
for
cool. Nah,
it.
it's cool, man.
Go for it, bro.
Pigger Brim says 3-2 Liverpool stat.
Arsenal make me
Den
laugh,
says
that's it.
useless stat from the Arsenal guy. For the Havertz one, I think he's talking about there. Online Daily says 2-1 Arsenal. Jean-Pierre Shields, that might be one of the coolest names I've seen in the chat.
It's my boy JP.
Hey.
Even though he's a Spurs fan. Shout out JP.
Shields, that is a hard name, bro. You need to be a UFC fighter.
Yeah, real talk.
He says 3-2 Liverpool anyway.
He's a Spurs fan.
Rishi says 2-0 Liverpool. David NL 3-2 Liverpool. Lit Forever says Porro got cooked there. Yes, we saw that. Dan Juma doing some nasty work there.
Top 5 right backs.
Hey.
Oh, there's
the best
another
of
Meg.
us. It happens to the best of us.
The
You know what I'm
Celso
saying?
just not
Who's
make
that?
one of the
Who's that?
midfielders.
Who's that?
Celso.
Yeah.
It wasn't Porro.
Wasn't pro.
I was just asking, who's that? What are we lot talking about Porro for? I'm just asking, who's that? No one said it was Porro. Excited guys on the trash Porro. Hey, we're watching you, man, closely now, you know. We know who the haters are, you see? Hey. FT Clip says 4-1 Liverpool easy. And, boy, Irons agrees as well. He's a West Ham fan. He says 3-0 Liverpool. Kev 2-2. EM says 3-1 to the Arsenal. Jordan Wall 3-2 Arsenal. Ishmael Lyon 3-1 Liverpool. My God, man. There's going to be goals in this, judging by the way you lot are predicting this. Craig Flynn says 1-0 Liverpool. Hey, we don't want that. We want to see some goals, brother. Give us a 3-0.
Give
Please.
us a 1-1. Give us a 1-1. If we come out of there with a draw,
That's good, yeah.
that's a W for me.
100%. Because then, do you guys stay top of Christmas if you draw? Yeah.
We play them 3 times in like the next month, like 6 weeks. Play them home. We play them at home, and then we play them in the FA Cup as well.
This is the 5-year anniversary of the Firmino hat-trick. I will never forget it, says Bilal Malik. Damn. Do you remember that hat-trick?
I do.
Walk me through it.
No.
You walked into that one, didn't you? You walked into that.
Why? I don't remember it.
Oh, no, the either.
I want the
jog our
fans'
memory, man.
perspective of where were your defenders when that first one went in?
So we're 4 minutes away from the whistle at Tottenham. And they're holding
I
on.
know you're praying Everton do something here.
They're holding on.
Hey,
Newcastle
come on,
holding
David.
on.
Come on, you
Luton are
Spurs.
holding on. Everybody's holding on right
Everyone's holding on for dear life,
Oh, man.
Final few minutes in additional time. We appreciate everyone who's been here in the Saturday Football Show. Over 1,700 of you still here in the chat as well. Almost up to 700 likes as well. Smash that if you can as well. We'd really appreciate it if you've enjoyed the stream.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like, you were saying that all the Arsenal fans are getting gassed because they think they're going to win whatever, yeah?
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did. You're like, these Arsenal fans, blah, blah, blah. And I
Oh,
said,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But, like, I said I would take a 2-2 or I'd
Yeah.
take a 1-1. And FT Clips in the chat said, he's already twerking for a draw, lol. Arsenal were done. How can we be done? We came second last season. We're top of the table now. Define done. But, like, if I'm pragmatic and serious and say, you know what, a draw would be good for us. This is Liverpool. We're in a title race against them, blah, 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 blah. People are like, oh, you're not serious. You're bottling it. And if you're like, I think we're going to win, people are like, oh, these Arsenal fans are ridiculous. They think they're going to win. So it's a no-win situation.
No.
Yeah, bruv. Slip me
I like
a
your
cocky,
approach,
innit?
though. No. You've come on this vibe humble, because even when that you were saying about Arsenal being top of Christmas, it doesn't mean anything. That's humble vibes, isn't it? But
I'm always like this, bro.
But Solanke got a hat trick.
Oh my.
Ho, ho, ho.
I was gonna put it in my fantasy team.
Dominic Solanke has delivered the Christmas gift Bournemouth fans have been waiting for. Down to 10 men, Forest. They thought they could hold on. 94th minute dagger.
Oh, full
and
time.
It's game over at Kenilworth Road. Luton 1, Newcastle United 0. Big Uggs, talk me through your feelings on that one, man. We said before the game this could be a banana peel. Some of the big sides have gone there. They've been able to kind of get draws, put in good performances.
Left it late, yeah.
We mentioned Adebayo and set pieces being a key component for Luton, and that's exactly what's kind of undone you today. Of course, and just Townsend getting a goal. Former Newcastle player as well. What's your feelings on that, man?
This couldn't be the outcome that happened. Losing to Luton away just adds more pressure to us now away from home. You know, it just adds more light to our poor away record and stuff. But
yeah.
I could see it happening, but I just thought, you know, there's enough in our squad to have quality to get the win. But losing to Luton
off the crossbar.
Underwhelming, man. Whatever it is, what it is now. West Ham are above us in the league. I've got my friends are West Ham fans. Look, they're saying, "Oh, check the table." Da, 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 da. So it's the madness. But it is what it is, man. We go again. We got Forest in the next game, but losing to Luton away is not ideal.
That is an incredible result for Luton, though. It now brings them to 12 points, 2 points behind Nottingham Forest, who have just lost to Bournemouth. Well, the game is still ongoing, but Dominic Solanke has scored in the 94th minute there. So that brings them a little bit closer to safety. Newcastle, as you said, dropping to 7th now. West Ham jumping above them. That away record now just looking even more damning, especially at a place like Kenilworth Road.
Yeah.
It's just one of those grounds where, as you said, you kind of go there thinking we should win this here.
But it's going to be hard, but we should win it.
We shouldn't make hard work of it, but as you've seen today, Newcastle, they're leaving empty-handed and a long trip back up north. And, of course, I'll tie all the 3-point collectors as well. Tottenham
Just
Hotspurs
about,
2,
Just about.
Everton 1.
Just about, though.
It doesn't matter how it happens.
Well played, though.
Get it how you live, baby.
Yeah, man.
Walking out there with 3 points, that's all I wanted. This is one of those tricky games as well. Everton, great run of form recently as well. Sean Dyche has really rejuvenated this team, home and away as well. They've been getting results. So, listen, Richarlison, we thank you for continuing what you've been doing, brother. We only ask for more. Son Heung-min, once again, the leader, the captain, steps up. This is what I want from my team. Now, over to you, Arsenal. Can you do something?
Man's over to us. Like they're in the title race this time. Man's over to us. Over to us.
Oh,
I beg your pardon?
listen, people.
What are you talking
It's
about?
been fun here, man. Saturday football show, as per usual. Let's round up the results as well as the final whistles are going
Oh,
in.
look at that.
Earlier today,
That's when I shouted off the crossbar.
goal line tech. This is why we live in the age 2023.
Fine
All
margin.
banner
Decisions
aside.
like this do not cost us.
Everton gave a go. Obviously, they were cheated out of a goal earlier, but like they've given a good account of themselves today. Like
Made for
they
effort.
can go away and say, you know what,
A for effort.
they can be confident playing against a decent Tottenham side, not a full strength Tottenham side, but still a very good Tottenham side, and they push them all the way. And obviously they had that goal disallowed and stuff like that. So, you know, they can take some positives from that. But obviously Tottenham cheated their way to win. But it is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is. Hey, West Ham 2-0 winners today at the London Stadium against Man United as well. Burnley, Vincent Kompany walking away from Craven Cottage. 2-0 winners as well. That is a fantastic result for them. Very much needed points. Similarly, Luton 1-0 winners against Newcastle. Don't know how many people would have expected that result. Nottingham Forest, 10 men, unfortunately unable to get the result that they were hoping for. They've been holding on to a draw for most of the game, but Dominic Solanke, hat-trick and a dagger in the 94th minute, killing that tie off, and still the final few minutes of that are still going. But Tottenham nicking the result against Everton, who really put up a great display, I can't lie to you. Despite not dominating possession, they created a lot of chances, gave us a lot of worries, and if it weren't for Vicario, honestly. I feel like Everton would have definitely walked away with a point, if not more. So definitely a great result for Spurs fans. We will take that, and let's see how that makes the Premier League table look at this point now. Arsenal, of course, on 39. Villa on 39 as well. Liverpool on 38. Of course, those two to play at 5:30. And Spurs jumping above City. City, of course, with the game in hand due to the Club World Cup. But on 36 points, listen, this has been good. Over 1,800 of you still here. Would love it if you would smash the like button on your way out. And the final whistle has gone in that Bournemouth game as well. Dominic Solanke collecting his hat-trick ball. And that is a big result for Bournemouth as well. Nottingham Forest, Nuno Espirito Santo's first game. I'm sure he'll be a little bit annoyed at not being able to hold out those last few minutes, especially after pulling it back to 2-2.
That red
Red
card.
card killed him, man.
The red card.
Red card. Welcome back to the Premier League.
Hey.
Welcome back to the referees in the Premier League.
Absolutely. Listen, you thought it was shady in Saudi? Welcome back to the England. But listen, boys, I've appreciated you joining me as well. Nick, Uggs, it's been really good stream. Yeah. Guys, we've appreciated you guys in the chat as well. It's been constant, honestly. Let me just make sure I haven't missed out any super chats as well. Oh, Woodsy sends in one here. He said, AFC should have won at Anfield, you liar. Well, you didn't. And we will find out soon if you will. 5:30, Liverpool v Arsenal, the big one this evening as well. 7:30, don't forget FCM podcast, myself, Culture Cam and Maywa, with special guests this week, Turkish, representing the Goon and Soul. We'll see how they fare. Make sure you join us for that one. Christmas Day, FCM Court is back. And you will not want to miss this one. I promise you it will be worth the wait. So make sure you've got your notifications turned on. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like this video on the way out. And until next time, people, peace. Where are these guys? Got caught in about 2 minutes.
Where you off to, mate?
Thought, mate, just really running late for this case.
Where the hell have you lot been? Do you know how late we are?
Up in the bender, mate.
Mate, we've got 2 minutes till court starts. Listen, we got cases building up, we've got work to do. Let's go.